yourself and what comes to you. There's a lot of email. I would relieve myself of 20% of my email if niggas just believed in themselves.
Yeah.
They'll tell me all of this stuff, and I'm like, well, why are you telling me? You answering your own question.
Right.
Why don't you just believe it? You're looking for me to validate it for you. You don't need that. You don't want that. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want to be the guy to validate some shit for you. You get what I'm saying? That's not what this shit is all about. What this shit is all about is you doing what you need to do, and then you believing in yourself. It's really down to that. You believing in yourself. A lot of people can't make progress because they second guess themselves. That's one of the biggest things. You'll even find that shit on the book level. They'll second, did I do it right? You know what I'm saying? Did I do it right? There's no such thing. What is right? What is wrong? And if you
I'm sorry. I just wanted to think because you're making some amazing points here. A lot of what I talk about in the sessions, but you said something that was just very, very key, and that is when you do reach out, because we all have people, like you said, the circles that we sit in. We all have people that we trust to give a lending ear, whether that person be Brother Panic or whether you come to me for a session, whoever that is, whether it's your mother, your mate, or a friend that you go to. Once you've done that, ask yourself the question, how many people have to tell you the same thing before you get it? Sometimes, in a session, a person will come to me and they've gone to 50, 60 other people. And they'll come back and say, well, I called this person and I called. Like, what are you doing that for? Begin, like you said, it's about trusting yourself and not having, to have to go so many different places, sort of start to build your foundation.
Well, that's actually a big part of it. I'm glad we're having this conversation because I've said it before, let me say it again. People did, me and Bobby, we spent, I would have to say we spent 5 years, 6 years, but at least fucking 40,000 hours, man hours, time alone. And as I look back, I said, okay, I get the true meaning of teacher. All the things I wanted to do, he was there as a support system and primarily kept the humanity in check for me. The humanity is what's going to fuck you up. So primarily, it's the mentality. Listen now, it's the mentality that most people lack when they're doing this. If you could get that mentality going, and all I've been talking about in this last half an hour is trying to get you in the mentality of it. You get what I'm saying? Listen closely. I want you to understand this, people. If you have to put a status message up every moment, you know what you're saying, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I need other people to tell me it's deep so I can even believe this shit. Do you understand this concept? So when I see it, understanding what I understand, I'm not looking at what you said as deep or not deep, or the fact that you're saying it on Facebook. The fact that you have a need to say it shows that you don't have the inner fortitude that you believe it, and it doesn't matter what anybody else believes. Right. Everyone has their own opinion. So some people may synchronize with yours, some may not. That's the name of the game called humanity. So you don't even want to buy into that process of trying to get people to get you to believe as you believe. The only person you need to convince is yourself. You get what I'm saying? Yourself. And that's what people are not convinced. That's what I'm talking about when you send in the email. You're not convinced, so you need me to convince you. That's a part of low self-esteem. Or if you want to look at it in a better way, that's your human body telling you, your human ego telling you, no nigga, no nigga. Your ego, a part of your ego, what it's supposed to do is a player hate you. Any new thing that you're introduced to, your ego as a form of protection, what it does is tell you no. It'll tell you no, until you have overwhelming evidence of proof.
Oh, good day, family.
To eventually go past the ego or the conscious mind.
Good day,
and
gratitude.
start entering the subconscious mind as repetition. So that's why it's key. That's
we only
what
got like
you
5 more minutes if
mantra,
y'all don't mind. I know
posture
you
is about, because all of that, like you sit in the posture and it hurts, it starts to break the subconscious. You mantra, you keep repeating it over and over, it goes through the conscious and breaks through the subconscious. I told you lighting candles, the flicker, alpha state. Alpha state goes past the conscious and starts hitting the alpha waves of the subconscious mind. So all of these things start to a form of mind controlling your own self. Reprogramming your own self, reprogramming your subconscious mind. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of this conscious behavior is only you actually showing what color your panties are when you're doing this shit now online. Now, like I said, for the greatest network of conscious people have emerged under this umbrella called Facebook. So you have now. So a lot of people are showing their panties not on a how much you know and how much you can repeat level. The fact that you need to show how much you know and need to show how much you can repeat. That's the real story. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're actually exposing yourself. Because
I might not tell y'all
anything
else.
You don't need to do that. You get what I'm saying? You don't need to do that. If you're a fire chief, you don't need to walk around telling everybody you're a fire chief, but you've been fucking crazy.
Right, and that's exactly right. That's exactly what
Brother
the sacred sessions do. It gives you a foundation so you can begin to build upon and work your own magic from there. So you can start to get into the foundation of your work and begin to continue to work from there. So for those who've had those, I've got your reflections back that show, and it shows here, like you said, they are doing their work. They're definitely doing their work.
The idea, the concept of faith is, it's been moved to having faith or blind faith. There's a difference between blind faith and having faith in what it is you know. If you know thyself, you'll start to have faith in thyself. And that unbreakable faith in yourself is a knowing. One of the men I've met on this planet with the most unbreakable faith is Bobby Hemming.
Yeah.
Ooh,
once that nigga believe it, you might as well believe the shit too, no matter what it is. Because you are not breaking that shit. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is where everyone should be trying to go. To know thyself and have unbreakable faith in thyself. Full absolution in what it is you're doing. I don't see that with people. I hear them all excited. Somebody come and say something else or against another guy who said something in a blog talk, and all of a sudden they on his team. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're just listening to anybody and everybody, not extracting what it is they need from all people for them, but just in the middle of the sermon. So this unbreakable faith that you need to find in yourself. You get what I'm saying? That is to know thyself. That is, you cannot obtain that until you have a belief in yourself. Till you say, fuck it, it's crazy, but it's my crazy. You get what I'm saying?
It can't be, you can't fool yourself.
Yeah, you can fool yourself. And I'm going further to say, once someone has dealt with themselves thoroughly, which is a true consciousness of know thyself, you can't fool them neither.
Right.
I'm saying I can't be fooled. It's not by what you're saying. I'm going beyond the surface. You get what I'm saying? And that's what consciousness is, for everyone to go beyond the surface. I.e., when that little girl, Willow Smith, is waving her hair, this complain about it, you on the surface, player. You're not in the consciousness. You're supposed to be finding the divinity in this little girl doing that bullshit. Find it, nigga, find it. You get what I'm saying? Find it. That's consciousness. You see what I'm saying? That's consciousness. So the mere fact, it's not even what you're saying. And I'll do you one better. You may have a very valid point.
Yeah.
But so what?
Everybody's right.
Everybody's right. You had a valid human point. So what? Kudos to you. But still, it's not the consciousness you're looking for. It's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is to be able to find the God-goddess element in all that shit. And then sucking up that energy and becoming it again. Find the goddess energy in a pile of shit.
Yeah.
Call it goddamn manure.
And
fertilizer. But it's still a pile of shit. You get what I'm saying? It's how you look at it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Good day and gratitude, family. I turned the TV off, didn't I? I was watching Brother Panic. Yeah, so I wanted to finish. It was only like 10 minutes long. It's on YouTube, and the video is talks believing in yourself and your power. Believing in yourself and your power, even if nobody else believes in you. Whatever you think, whatever you know, feel in your heart and your spirit, nobody else probably even want to hear about it. But don't you give it up. If you believe in it, it make you happy. If you can see the vision in it, honey, don't you give it up for nobody else. Don't you give it up. That's a part of you. I was listening to Neil deGrasse, and he was also saying, you know, how if something resonate with you, or you see something, or I don't know, how you could invent something that's of a different, I guess it's in a different parallel, how it's a cosmic revelation of some sort. The man is awesome. I'm going to have to get a whole binder notebook for the Cosmology. Oh, yes. It is so amazing. All of them skies up there, the multiverse up there, y'all. I just been thinking about it all day when I learned on that video earlier that the Hubble telescope, the Hubble, I wrote it down. The Hubble discovered and noticed, I guess it picked it out, that the universe is constantly expanding. The universe is not staticky like this. The universe is expanding. So the multiverse is expanding. Yeah. I got some work to do. I'm telling you. And I'm the right one to do it. Yes, to give me my own understanding to whatever I come out with believing. Yes. I don't want to be misled by anyone else's thoughts. These folks done already misled me. I can't even find a note from it from earlier this morning. But he did mention the Hubble telescope. And the Hubble was the one that let it be known. It showed it. It proved it. That the universe is expanding. And he did say that what's his name? Einstein. Yeah, see, I don't know these folks. But he did say that he was right and wrong. I guess because the universe, even in its staticky, if it was, in that staticky position or existence and stuff, it still would have minor, expansion, but it would always contract too. So I guess that's what he meant when he said he was right and wrong. But the cosmos is expanding. It's ever expanding. If it's expanding, there's no ending. All this learning that we've been doing and stuff in school and stuff, honey, and I wasn't even in class to learn all of that. But I think y'all been lied to. I think everybody been lied to, especially Black people. We got to rethink this whole thing for us. It may not even matter to some folks where they go after this. It may not matter if where you end up at and stuff. I'm sure it do. Don't nobody want to think that they going to the lake of fire forever and ever and ever. But I know some of us, we worry about it. It's our number one focus, our number one guiding light. It's heaven and hell. Heaven and hell, heaven and hell. But there's so much more than just heaven and hell. So much more. For Black people, the simple fact that everything has been hidden from us. That alone should make any Black person want to, look at things for themselves now. Find the answers and seek the answers for ourselves now. You know, maybe all of us, you know, just some of us just don't care. I don't know. I know I do. I do. I want to reach as many people, as many of us that do care, at least give you the opportunity to say, you know, I don't care. Wherever I end up at after this phase, that's just it. I don't care one way or the other, you know, but at least care about what we leaving here when we do go, you know, from here. At least, you know, let's not leave our babies in such a vulnerable position. Let's not leave them in such a vulnerable position. I mean, I've seen a video by Dr. Neil anyway. I wanted to watch it. Said, I guess he was saying we got 100 years at best. I don't know, 100 years. Oh, yeah, we better have up and turn this thing around. You know, Black America. But it's so good to see everybody and stuff. And how y'all doing today? I'm so glad y'all here. I ain't gonna keep us long tonight. I know I always say that, don't I? And so you can leave anytime you would like to, you know, and I'll catch you on the next air. You know, it's so good to see y'all. You know, I'm finna cover up right now. I'm finna cover up this thing because all we need is two. Me and you. That's all the ancestors told me too. They didn't say I gotta wait and wait for such and such and all these people and stuff like that. They just said, let two people get in face. Let at least let two people get in, you and somebody else. And I said, all right, I can do that because see, I'm gonna be here, whether I'm a few minutes late or not. But you know, yeah. So thank you for coming. I appreciate your patience and your presence. I am Face the Nation. And again, we are on Bolden Unchained, Midnight with the Ancestors. Yeah, that's what this class right here is. Midnight with the Ancestors. Yep, with my ancestors, your ancestors. That's why I'm here. Yep, that's why I'm here. That's the only reason I'm here. Yeah, our ancestors, they want to be remembered. They need to be remembered. They tired of being ignored. They tired of being neglected, rejected, or not thought of. They tired of being unappreciated. Because we don't appreciate our ancestors. Everything they've done for us. You know, they actually sending you them blessings that you're getting. You know, when you get your blessings and you know it was coming and stuff, you know you've been doing good. And you know you've been sowing seeds and stuff. And when you get them blessings and stuff, you don't give none of that credit to the ancestors, Black America. We don't. I didn't either. You know, here and there, you know. But then once I really began to focus and think about it, I give them just as much credit as I did, you know, God and Jesus. When I did, you know, believe in God and Jesus. Because at one time I did. I called him God just like y'all do. I called on Jesus just like some of y'all do and stuff, you know. And then eventually, you know, over the years and stuff, as I started thinking and learning and trying to come to my own, you know, comfortability and acceptance of what's here and what's out there, what's now and what's to come after this right here, you know. And so I don't think it's a man in the sky anymore that we call God. I can communicate it. You know, I spent my whole life, you know, knowing about God. God see everything. You better not do that face. God see you if don't nobody else see you. You know, so yeah, I can understand that. I can, you know, I resonate with that still. I get it. I just don't see it up there. I get how we do see it. You know, God has been a man in the sky. Some people call him Sky Daddy, the spook in the sky. You know, he ain't even got a name. It's just cosmic energy to me. It's just cosmic energy to me. If there was no beginning, not that man, no. I know the good books say that, you know, God came down in the spirit and told somebody what to write, and he wrote it, or they took it off. And then a lot of other stuff, they took it off the Egyptian walls and stuff, and all that is in the Bible and stuff, you know. And that part right there, I can believe that they took the historical facts and prosperity, the historical facts and proof and wisdom that was left on the walls for us. Love letters. They took that and put that in the books too. I can believe that the 10 commandments come from the 42 laws of Ma'at. But as far as when I leave here, this planet, and going to heaven and hell, I don't believe in that fable right there. I do have a little belief that if it is a heaven, y'all, it ain't just for us. You ain't got to go there. You can go further than heaven. And I think you probably should, Black America, But hey, I've already decided to let us, I don't want our religious status and classes and stuff be a division, because I don't even know all y'all religions. All I knew was Jesus and God. Yeah, down south, I know nothing about, I know Yahweh and Yahushua and even Krishna, Dionysus, Buddha, Horus, Heru, Asar, Aset. I know nothing about none of them, and I don't know if y'all do or not, because everybody calling on somebody different. Yep, everybody calling on somebody different. I don't know who's lying. All of y'all got something different. So I'm like, hey, yeah, don't keep them then. Keep them. But can we at least add the ancestors in there somewhere? Can we at least add, give me something. Can we at least add our ancestors in there somewhere to give them some credit, some appreciation? Can we do that? That's who literally made our life much easier right here in this hell. This hell right here. Yeah, and it very well could be. Who said it ain't? Who got the proof this ain't hell right here? Who got the proof this is not hell right here? So see, after this right here, ain't nowhere to go but up. Yep, nowhere to go but up. And you FAFO right here, you'll find out. Yep, you FAFO and find out right here, you in hell. Slip up one time. All you got to do is read. That's all we got to do is read. Since I done started reading and stuff, honey, this is hell right here. Earth. Planet Earth. After planet Earth, we ascend. We go higher. See, even white folks can go higher. They can go to that first universe. But it's a multiverse out there, y'all. So that's 12 universes. So, yeah, it make you wonder, since I've started thinking, since I've started reading, and thinking outside the box. That's where it all happened at and stuff, thinking outside the box. And I don't know when, I just was like, who said it wasn't this way? But when I read that book, Red Summer, and then I came across William Joseph Simmons talking about he revived the Ku Klux Klan in 1915 because he had a spiritual vision of robed men riding across the sky in a map the shape of the United States. It sounded like the Klansmen to me. So I'm who they in heaven too? So yeah, it all, connect the dots. That's what George Fraser said. Connect the dots. He coined that. So see, it's all about learning and stuff. I'm learning. I don't mind sharing it with you. I want you to know a little bit about me anyway. And when I stop telling why I think the way I think, a lot of people, hey, we don't know why she's thinking all them things like that and stuff. So, I do want to give you a little insight on why I believe and think the way I do. I mean, we should all, Black people, we should all want us to think outside of this box right here. We should all want Black people to think outside the box. Black America, we've been thinking inside the box for so long because that's where our mind is trapped at. We're not physically trapped, enslaved anymore, but we're mentally enslaved and trapped. And so, I just, even if you still end up believing and want to go to heaven, then at least and you probably can be just as happy in heaven as your heart desire, as your heart can imagine, you might be happy in heaven. Because it is going to be big, in that universe. Heaven going to be big too. It's in the first universe. And all the universes got 999 galaxies. All the galaxies, each one got 999 planets. And each planet got 9 realms. So you might be very happy in heaven. But you better know white folks gonna be there. The clans. Yeah. I don't know. Or connect the dots. It said somewhere along the way, I guess it was in y'all Bible, that God forgive everything except for committing suicide. And I don't know how true it is. It's not, because I never asked the pastor nothing, but So if that is true, then Carol and them is in heaven too. So, I'm just saying, Black America, we need to start thinking. I know it's a whole lie. I feel like it's a whole lie. All our family and our friends, our uncles, our daddies and granddaddies, church, even though they didn't know about the multiverse, church was significant then. Church wasn't used as a crutch like it's used now. Church wasn't blinding then for us like it is now. We mainly went to church so we could meet up and create. We went to church so we could heal each other, love on each other, accept and forgive each other. We could create, we could build together. But hell, them the white men on the horses came in through the windows, through the front door, through the back door, and broke up the meetings at the churches and stuff. I guess that's when the churches decided that, we ain't going to teach, the black man, the black woman to stand up for themselves. When they come here, we gonna teach about the Bible as it is. We ain't even going to give no outside the box of the Bible. We're going to teach the Bible as it is. We're going to teach this religion as it is. And that was the wrong thing to do. Because the churches, you locked our minds. You locked our mindset. We kept coming to church. We kept coming to church. We kept growing in church. We thought we were growing in church. But we in this box right here. It's only so much you could grow. So big you could grow in this religious box right here. And you already know where I'm going with this, just like Dr. Ray Hagins. He opens every one of his lectures with his confirmation. He opens every one of his lectures with his blueprint. Dedicated ignorance, self-hatred. And I'm going to open this one with it too, so you can understand why, religion is a crutch for us. It's a vice. It's a cuff. It stunts our thinking. It paralyzes our analysis. It shuts off the thought process. Everything. We got to unlearn everything. We must question everything that we think we know, that we think we done learned. Even those with degrees. When you think about it, all of our people with degrees, have you really learned the truth? Or they got to do it too. Yeah, they got to do it too. Can you imagine being in a position like a pastor? And then you learn the truth of things. And you think to yourself, all this time, all these decades, I've been teaching people, about heaven and hell. But there's so much more than heaven and hell. And that's what Dr. Ray Hagen, that's where he woke up to, I suppose. I don't know. I just know when I seen him and stuff, I just started taking some notes on him and stuff. Honey, this note probably like 7, 8, 12 years old on this piece of paper. Yeah. But it just helped me. at that time, because I think that's when I was really, deciding if I even believed in churches, Jesus, and God, like I learned it, and that was, after I started, going out and seeing what was really happening, what was still happening with my people. And I, church just didn't resonate with me anymore, and then the pastor was always pissing me off and stuff, talking about we wasn't giving enough money in the church that I was going to. It was always something, we didn't have enough money. And then this bill was coming up, and that bill was coming up, the building funds and stuff. And then, one day he was just like, these 10s and 20s ain't doing no good to pay these bills up in this church right here. And then I was like, oh, hold up now. I got to go. And I left after that because, it had already happened where I went and asked for some help. I think it was on my light bill. And I sat out there and waited on them. And then when they finally came and said no, oh, honey, I must have told sister, can you please? I'm going to need you to go look at y'all book. Because I tithe every Sunday. Probably why I couldn't pay my light bill, because I was paying tithings. And so, they, they ended up helping me. I don't know if I continued tithing, probably not that much. It wasn't long after that anyway, when I just stopped going and stuff, because, after pastor had said them few things to us and stuff, and I was looking around at people in the church like, it ain't really that many saints, like people here. You got your saints and the mothers in the church and stuff, and then you got your deacons and the ushers and stuff. But the congregation, within the congregation, you ain't got a whole lot of saint-minded, members. You just don't. Prosperity. The saints are the ones that be tithing $100 before you even send a plate around. They sitting there with that $100 in that envelope, that yellow envelope they give you at church and stuff. As soon as you walk in, you get that with you. When you go in, they give you the fan. The saints already got their $100. So, I'm kind of like, whoa, I'm going to have to give more than $50 a week. I couldn't do it. I wasn't going to do it. I sure wasn't. But let's get to it and stuff. I'm Face the Nation. We are on Bolden Unchained, and we are here to assist Black America and Black media with the uncovering and the condemning. I'll do it. And the condemning of the many agendas, events, projects, operations, codes, laws, bills, acts, compromises, studies, courses, memos. Memorandas. Oh, honey, they got memorandas out the asshole. They got plans and experiments. See, all these targets on Black America. And then I was listening to, we heard him. Brother George Fraser said that one of his good friends named Bob told him, George, I know what's wrong with Black people. He said, what is it, Bob? What you think is wrong with Black people? And he said, Black people spend all their time thinking about white folks. And he said, but white folks ain't even thinking about Black people. And Black people ain't thinking about Black people. So who's thinking about Black people? And that makes so much sense too. And white people ain't thinking about us now because they ain't got to worry about us building nothing. They ain't got to worry about us coming together and stuff. Right now, they got some worry though. See, they ain't worried about us in the past decade or so because see, the system, all of the plots and the sabotages that they done put in play, they all been working. So they ain't got, we ain't got to waste time on them, keeping our eye on them like that, devoting so much time and energy because they got all of these. It's like a domino board when you touch one and all of them fall. See? So they got all these projects, agendas, operations, experiments, studies, courses, laws, bills, acts, compromises, plans against us. And it's always something to keep us static, and like Einstein said, the universe would. It's always something to keep us like that. So, you know, they really could take their eyes off of us for quite a while. And now, you know, they look back and they notice that we are feeling something. We shifting. It's a cosmic shift. Yeah, that's out of our control. It's a cosmic shift. You know, so white folks are paying attention again to us. But, you know, it's not because of our doing. Directly, I mean. Indirectly it is. But directly, this shift that's happening, this cosmic shift, is not our doing. This cosmic shift that's happening is because mainly we as a collective, African people, black people, I'm talking about right here in the diaspora too, but mainly all over the world, because, you know, our families across the waters and stuff, you know, they still very much oppressed and stuff. But right here, you know, I be studying about the United States of America. What's wrong with Black America? Why we can't get along? Who done hurt us? Who done hurt my people to the point that we can't even get together like Soul Train no more? You can't get together like Soul Train no more. No, soon as that first song gone off, and everybody done came down the line dancing and, you know, feeling good and stuff, that second song, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So I want to know what's done happened to us. That's my quest, to find out why we got so much self-hate. Black America. Dr. Ray Hagen's coined it dedicated ignorance. Why we got so much dedicated ignorance among us? Don't we even know we dedicated to being ignorant? Don't we even know we stuck in a box? We don't never think outside of the box. We always just stuck in that little box right there. Why? Why? You try to get somebody to think outside that box, you better be ready to fight. You better be ready to fight. I want to know why. What's going on with us here? You know. Yeah. So yeah, we here to uncover all that. We here to uncover all that. We gonna uncover it and condemn it. Yeah. We're gonna find out what's going on with Black America, why Black America can't come together. Because everybody seems to me to be blaming Black America. I know we're gonna take some accountability for everything that's happening to us. But where did it begin? Where did it begin? Why come we ain't got no fathers in the family? Why come we ain't involved in church? We done got so far from God. Yeah, they done got far from God. That's what's wrong with them. Why are we listening to all this fucked up music? You know? So I want to know why. I want to know what's done happened to us. Who did it? Who did it? Because we ain't never been able to reach no pinnacle of comfortability in this country right here. And I see a whole lot of other people here comfortable as hell and just got here. So, you know, I'm noticing that a lot of folks are treating us like they've been here, like we just made it here. And they deserve so much better. It's like, you know, everybody like, damn, I feel like, is everybody treating us like white people? Or is it just me? But yeah, everybody treating us like white people. Yeah, that's it. Don't doubt it no more. You ain't got to doubt it no more. Yeah, everybody treating us like white people treat us. And they just got here. Yeah, and then the thing that happened was the election came around and everybody voted like white people. Yeah, everybody voted like white people. Now everybody just don't know what to do. Don't know what to do, you know. And that's too bad. That's just too bad, because it's you did it too many times. Your patterns have become habits. You know, that's the way you are. You think like white folks. You act like white folks. And you voted like white folks, and now you gotta, you know, the consequences that's coming down from that. Everybody finna get some of this. Everybody finna get some of this oppression, you know. All because nobody wanted to see the black man, you know, get some type of relief, some type of comfort, another day to fight. That's what it was about. Everybody know what it was about. You got Trump over here, and then you got Kamala over here. Everybody wanted to see somebody bring their foot down on the black man, and constantly. And that was Trump. That was Trump. Yeah. You know, they should have understood that they was doing a disservice to their own self, to their own people. What did they think? White folk gonna stand up and say, y'all ain't gotta go nowhere. You ain't gonna be deported. Hell, that he was saying what he was gonna do. That man was saying what he was gonna do. He gonna eliminate the Department of Education. I don't know what the few black folks that voted for him were thinking. Being out there in their MAGA red hats and shirts and stuff. And is you gonna read to them babies? Not just your babies in your house. I mean the babies on your block. Because see, the Department of Education gone, you ain't gonna have all of them luxuries that our ancestors fought for. You know. And hey, this ain't the first time we ain't been able to be in school and stuff. You know, this is just the perfect time for us to start teaching at home. Yeah, this is the perfect time for us to actually do for ourselves. We had a choice, you know, and we didn't choose it. You know, we could have if we'd have reached more people, I guess. But hell, people don't vote like they want to vote. Shit, they know what was up. They already knew what was up. Everybody is content with all these agendas against Black America. And they just waiting, you know, for one of these attempts to be successful. So they ask it, be like, oh, who gonna be the, you know, who gonna be the next black person? Who gonna be the next black group? Hell, I don't know. They all dancing like you, dancing like black people, singing like black people, dressing like black people, talking like black people, walking like black people. They even driving like black people. I shit you not. I was driving last summer and I pulled up under the music was loud in the car stuff. And honey, I get down there, down like this right here. Man, who the hell is this right here in this little bitty sports looking car? You know, it's real low with the thing on the back of the trunk. Yeah. You know, I didn't really think, you know, a brother was in it driving that right there, but it wasn't either. No, it wasn't no brother driving that thing, huh? That little bitty Asian man would sit down like that right there, honey. You know how in the South and stuff you see everybody just rolling around. You know, like on Boys in the Hood and stuff when they always out at the drive-in and everybody were riding around and stuff in the circle and they were leaning over like that. They were driving those sets so low you couldn't see nothing but over the head right there and stuff. So, you know, yeah, it's just like everybody just waiting to see. You know, all right, fine, hell, who gonna be the new black? Who gonna be the new black? Like the little show, Orange is the New Black. Who gonna be the new black? Without the problems too, you know, because yeah, I guess it's gonna be a few of us left that's gonna get the problems. I don't know how these folks think. It don't even make sense to me. Because I saw a video of I don't know if he was Japanese, Chinese, or none, but you know, he had the slanted eyes and stuff. I never did learn how to tell the difference either. I didn't think I was gonna be around him and stuff, you know, like it was today. I know in school, when I was going to school before I quit, they were saying, yeah, you better learn, you know, a little Spanish. And what else did they have in there? French, I guess. I don't know. But I was like, no, I ain't gonna need to learn no Spanish and stuff. Hell, I ain't gonna be around them like that. Oh, honey, what I think that for? I had my first cultural shock when I moved from down south to up north. Honey, I seen people I never seen before in my life. It were white people, black people, Hmong, Somalians, Asians. Then there was some Mexicans down south. That was it, white, black, and Mexican. But honey, I moved up north, so it's like everybody's here. I had never seen Amish people. Nope, got up here and stuff, and it's kind of like I'm still in a damn culture shock. Because I swear I seen some Venezuelans, but I couldn't tell them apart from the other peoples and stuff, you know. And it's just, you know, like, wow. And everybody, yeah, treat black people like white folks do. And I'm like, damn, that's fucked up, you know. But yeah, so I'm spiritual, y'all. I look through a spiritual lens. I'm not religious. You know, I don't see nothing religious anymore. No, I speak on it and stuff of why I'm not religious, anymore. I wish somebody had to talk to me when I was younger and help me to open my mind to something bigger than what I was taught and led to believe in this little circle right here. Because it probably would have made all the difference. See? It probably would have made all the difference. But hey, if they didn't know, they couldn't have told me nothing. And that's our people. We all thinking in this little box right here about religion. Yeah, I know he got a lot of names and stuff, but I just tell you this: if you know you going to heaven with your higher power, and that's where you gonna be in heaven, then that's it right there. That's heaven right there. That's your religion. That's your heaven. Yeah, that's heaven right there in that circle. That cause the afterlife is in the whole multiverse. See, the afterlife is all of it. Yep. After heaven, of course. Heaven is the lower, is in the lower regions of the afterlife. You can see it. It starts right there with hell, first universe, second, third, fourth, all the way to the 12th universe. Because it's a multiverse. So hell and the first universe, that's where white people go. Hell and the first universe. It's still big. The first universe is still big. You wouldn't even know you was in the first universe unless you learned about the other universes. But if you didn't learn about the other universes, you wouldn't even feel trapped in heaven because that's all you know. That's all your mind knows. If your mind knows something else exists, then you'll feel like I'm trapped in here. I'm trapped in this circle. I got to get out. So, it just hit different for me. So, anybody there, I'll explain it the best I can because we need new options today. We need new options, new information, new knowledge, and it's out there. It is out there. I think I was listening to Neil deGrasse, and I think he was saying, was it Europe? I got me a notebook for him now, and I write down stuff word for word. And I think he was saying that Europe done practically almost complete done got rid of religion, Christianity. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find the video and listen to it again because I was like, whoa, what's that? And then I was trying to back it up and find it, but I didn't find it anymore in the video. So I'm gonna have to look it up again and see what he was saying and stuff. They giving it back now. So they finna give religion, Jesus, and God back. They finna give it all to black people. They finna give it all to black people. And other peoples in the world and stuff finna be, learning about the other universes in the afterlife. I don't know why, because I don't think they can even go up there, other people. I don't even think they can go into the multiverse. I have to think some more on them. I know white folks can't go into the depthness of the multiverse. I prove it. Prove it. That's just my opinion. If you can't prove it, then I suggest you be quiet and maybe go on over there with sister. And you'll be a whole lot more comfortable with her. But I don't think other folks can go into all of that multiverse right there. The cosmos know. Because white folks act like what they doing is not being seen by God, by the higher power, the creator. White folks act like they not being seen by nobody. Y'all act like, the higher power ain't seeing white folks stuff. But then y'all be like, they gonna meet the higher power sooner. Like, for what? Oh, they gonna get judgment on judgment day for what? Ain't nothing gonna happen. You already done said and understood and taught us from y'all Bible that God forgives everything. So if he gonna forgive white folks and they gonna end up in heaven and you're going to end up in heaven, then why black folks ain't thinking? So yeah, I'm just like, I'll go into death about it. Let me read this right here. We look through a spiritual lens of loyalty, resilience, and education to see who we loyal to. That's it, and that's all. Who you loyal to, black people? You loyal to your ancestors, or you loyal to their tormentors? We are their descendants. The white folks around us now, they are the clancestors' descendants. I know a whole lot of them going to tell y'all, we didn't know. Their face to stop it. We didn't know that all of this happened. Well, don't you think it's time for you to go talk to your people, your grandmama, your great-grandmama? She's sitting in that rocking chair, rocking away, silent as hell. Don't you think it's time for y'all to go talk to them? White folks, it's time for y'all to find y'all healing. Because black folks, we got to find ours. We just got to. I know. We never anticipated this day was going to come where we got to make a decision. We thought we were doing right. We thought we were doing the right thing, but it was so much information we didn't know. That's why we got to forgive ourselves, because see, without this crucial information, we couldn't have made them critical decisions that matter so much, and that's because of white America. White America motherfucking ass knew what they people in a position, the people that be, we always talk the power that be. White folks knew. It make me wonder, in that book we read, Racial Violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940, when Kentucky, the whole state of Kentucky, told Kentuckians, look at here, we're going to stop slaughtering black people and stuff. You're going to stop doing the things you're doing to them publicly. Did they come into some agreement then to put in place all of these other agendas to substitute doing all this savage, publicly tormenting, just ravaging black bodies? Is that what happened? White America, not just the state of Kentucky, because if the state of Kentucky was talking to their people about the savage ravishness they were doing to black people, then the other states was too. See, that's why we're going to read Racial Violence in Tennessee. We doing Minnesota after this right here. We finna read some Minnesota after. We finna do every state. Is that what all states did? So that's why we got so many sabotages against black America. And white America, you ain't never stood up and said, hey, you can stop now. Please stop now. We fell in love with them. What, it's too far gone for white America to stand up and say that. Now, they your sons. White woman, they the white woman's sons, brothers, husband, cousin, daddy, granddaddy, uncle, brother. I just feel like us to be, still trapped in with these people, and we don't even remember. We don't even know. We don't even talk about, think about who done fell in love that deep. Done fell so deep in love that you literally forgot about all the lynchings, all the burnings, the draggings, the skinning, the dismembering, the castrating, all the 100 years of forcing black people to wear the mask on our face to break our language, our identity. And black America, you just forgot. You just forgot. Or maybe we were just so fearful of white America. And white America let it be. White America then claimed, oh, we love y'all so much. Hell, you should. We done gave up everything for y'all motherfucking asses. You should love the very ground Black people walk on. You should, white America, be out there telling your people that be. That, hey, can you stop? Can you pull these arrows back? Stop shooting these arrows into Black people now. Can you sign the check for them? Cut the check for Black people now. We stand down. Can y'all white people at least do that? No, they ain't gonna do it. Watch and see. But no, we don't care what face say. We have our children together. Michael, we have our children together, our families. Yeah, you sure do got that beautiful family right there. Got that beautiful family. But whose lineage finna live on? I want to know who lineage finna live on. Is anybody gonna tell Michael, hey, Michael, look at here, son. You need to decide who lineage deserves to live on for the betterment of all humankind, for all life. Because we know it's mankind and then it's human. You know, yeah. It's mankind, then it's humanity. So, you know, Black people, we just need to decide whose side we on. Who lineage do we want to live? Whose lineage is better for life? Those who create, build, invent for the betterment of our life, or those who just steal, corrupt, destroy, build anti-life shit that really, you know, can't prolong life. I mean, Black America, we just got to decide. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. White people going to do what they want to do anyway. But why sabotage us? Why use us to keep stepping up to get up? If you want a futuristic world, if that's what you're leading to this future, everything that's done led up to this futuristic world, why use us for? Why make us the bottom pillar? Keep us down. And what does it mean in this new world order? See, I feel like we don't let these people, everybody, white folk, Black folk, our celebrities, our movie stars, those that's really made it to the financial pinnacle of success, all our politicians that's really done found that financial stability, that financial freedom. But hell, ain't none of their asses got no personal freedom whatsoever. It don't even matter what kind of finances and wealth and comfortability and luxurious lifestyle they got. They ain't got no damn personal freedom. They asses can't speak up. They saw everybody. They saw this whole world being lit on fire. They ain't worried about no job. They ain't worried about paycheck to paycheck. Hell, if you sell that big ass mansion with 13 rooms, 9 bathrooms, and 4 motherfucking garages, then you'll be able to survive a little bit longer, you know. Because, see, we live outside our means when we do get money. And then, hell, we still bind it. Because, hell, shit, you can be financially free. But if your ass living outside your means, you ain't got no money. You ain't got no money. You still got to do this, and this. So you can pay all of them notes, all of them bills. Because, see, we ain't never had no financial literacy. Hell, I'm beginning to think all our celebrities and stuff ain't had none neither. Yeah, you know, it just seemed like everybody just willing to sacrifice Black America. For what? Hell, everybody in danger now. The world itself is on fire. We still trying to get Black people out of the house. Why people, societies in America haven't tried to get Black people out of this burning house? Hell, the way everybody was hanging on the Martin Luther King words, you mean tell me they didn't know what he was saying? But see, they think about things how they want to, just like when he said injustice against one is injustice against all. White people thought he was talking to us. White people thought that Martin Luther King was telling us if we seek payback, that, you know, we'll be wrong. No, he was telling them doing wrong to us is going to bring wrong right back on them, right back on everybody. That's what he was saying. But white folk just flipped it around like it's back on us and stuff. So, I'm just really perplexed. I'm appalled. I am motherfucking appalled that everybody done sit here and let a whole new world order be built up around everybody. Everybody see it. And ain't nobody even stopped to wonder, hey, what about Black America? Black America ain't never had no healing, ain't never got no therapy. They ain't even got no hospitals, schools. Black America ain't got nothing. Don't nobody even think about the needs, the resources, or even the wants of Black America. But everybody just grabbing it for themselves. Just grabbing everything for themselves. Right out our hands. Right out our hands. And a lot of things that folks are using is ours. It's out in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It's ours. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I feel like just asking us, Black America, if we don't want to save us at this point, if we just so tired, if our minds are so weak and just hopeless dealing with white America, right here, what we're going through in America, we got the power. We could do it. We could do it. Let's just talk to the cosmos. Talk to the sun. We all can do it. And let's just tell the sun to just blow this motherfucker up right now. Because the sun is here for us. The sun is giving us, Black people, all over this planet, a majority of his energy. That's where his energy is going. Yeah. The sun, he giving energy. The sun giving energy to everything. The trees, the waters, the earth, the soil. The soil is actually getting energy from the sun too. Because see, the ground is alive. Yep. Everything is getting energy from the sun. But the sun gives the most of his energy, his sun rays, to Black people, melanated people. And if we're not going to save our people on this planet, then we need to just go on and, hey, hell, there's 998 more planets if you want to stay here. But see, I'm going to the 12th universe after this. Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm not going to heaven. Just know before the end. Just start thinking about it now. Start thinking about it now. Because Black America, you got to connect the dots. You got to connect the dots, honey. There's more to it than just inside of this circle right here. We look through a spiritual lens of loyalty, resilience, and education. And we started reading more Dirty Little Secrets today. More Dirty Little Secrets. I hadn't even read it. I think I started reading volume 1. I ain't got it no more. I'm going to have to reorder it. This is volume 2. And honey, he was talking about the African Holocaust. And every motherfucker, yeah, I cuss. Y'all cursing and I'm cussing. So, hey, it is what it is. I ain't going to be sitting here telling you, bless you, bless you. I'm not going to be telling you good morning, good grieving, good death. I'm not going to be cursing you like that. I might cuss your ass out, but I'm not going to curse you like that and stuff. But let me go back to the part he was talking about. The African Holocaust. I've never read I haven't even been reading this type of stuff. No, I hadn't been. I didn't even know about this right here. But even in all of my readings and watching documentaries and stuff, to actually see it in print, African Holocaust, you hardly ever see those two words together. When you hear the Holocaust, you think about, Hitler and what he did. Hell, and he got his ideas from America. We're going to find out if that's true or not, too. We're going to find out. But look at this right here. For instance, there has been no positive recognition or appreciation of Black people as the world's original people. This nation's super patriotic soldiers and athletes and the world's music and performance arts geniuses who made phenomenal contributions to mankind while suffering an African Holocaust. And people ain't even, people ain't recognized it or appreciated nothing that we contributed to this world and stuff. Because I often say that's because everything that we were contributing, even though it was for the betterment of the whole world, Black people started inventing and creating to make life easier for us. But like I said in the books that we were reading, you know, a lot of our ancestors, when they did create, they said, you know, this is for Black to help make life easier for Black people. But quite a few of them said this is for everyone. So everyone's life will be easier. This is to make life better, you know, life easier, life more enjoyable. But then see, we the only ones that do that. White folks ain't never felt like that. White folks ain't never done that. So see, you know, this whole mingling and marrying and procreating with us, I'm just like, well, what the fuck was all of that for? What was all of that procreating, staying together for years, decades together when you know you're not gonna step out and ensure the betterment of life, of society, of our lineage? And you can look at that either way you want to, through black eyes or white eyes. If you want to be with a Black man and a Black woman, how you helping our lineage? How you helping our lineage carry on? If you going to teach them babies y'all got together, hey, we're going to need y'all to sleep with Black men. We're going to need y'all to marry Black men, fall in love with Black men, have your babies by Black men, Black women. How y'all decide that? I mean, you know, hey, it's just different. Hell, because it's white and Black. Black people, we were supposed to separate from their asses when we left off of them plantations. Now, we could come with all that bullshit and stuff, talking about you fall in love with whoever you want to fall in love with. It's water on the bridge. It happened. No, it didn't. It was supposed to happen differently if you'd have had some courage for your people. If you'd have had some faith in your people instead of trying to take the easy way out, see, and keep the peace with white folks. See, if we with each other, then we ain't got to worry about who lineage gonna live on. But see, we sleeping outside our race, procreate, what do white folks call it? Miscegenation. Yeah, I think that what that white man that revived the Ku Klux Klan, William Joseph Sim, I think that's what he said, miscegenation. But see, since we doing all this miscegenation, I'm just curious here, who lineage is gonna live on? Is this gonna be another type of people? You know, when they have babies and then they have babies and the baby have baby and the baby as they grow up and stuff. See, our lineage is being wiped away. Prosperity. Our lineage is being wiped away. With every other target against us is wiping our numbers down. And you know, this interracialness is wiping our numbers down too. It's decreasing our numbers. And I know Black America feel like it ain't even about that. It ain't even about that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All the time our ancestors done spent telling and proving that white folks was wrong about keep white pure. White folks was right, honey. White folks was right. Let them stay pure. We should have been teaching us that, hey, let's keep our lineage living on, okay? Let's just keep our lineage living on. Because we got to live. How the hell we going to let these folks, white people, how the hell we going to let white people put together all of these plans, all of these agendas? I mean, you know, I think Dr. Claude Anderson said it's around 9,000 of our people. I'm going to have to do some research on that. I got this a couple years ago. But we got so many people sitting in these political seats Ain't they sitting at the round table? No, you ain't. You ain't sitting at the round table. They got you sitting over there at that little square table back there. And they passed you the bill to sign it, the plan, the agenda, the event, the project, the operation. See, they sent it back there at that little bitty table after all of them at the round table done signed it. And they dumb ass sitting back there doing it. So see, that's why we got all these agendas against us. That's why and that's how. Ain't nobody ever really cared about what happened to our ancestors in this country. Yeah, a lot of us, they are our family. Yeah, I know that's your great auntie that's sitting over there in Congress. I know that's her. Well, okay, if she one that's been fighting for us, then she should have probably been looking for like-minded people like her instead of staying by herself around all of them wolves. See? And that's where we end up being the coward at. That's where we end up being the coward. I was a coward too. I don't know why my uncle calling me face the nation. Hell, I had never faced nothing. I had never stood up to nothing. Not nothing that was worthy. Shit, yeah, we stand up for stuff that really ain't even all that. Shit, in 2 or 3 days, you done forgot about it and, done went on about your bed. It petty stuff, distractive stuff. I had never really stood up for nothing like this. But I guess it came around when I used to read Roots. But I was just reading the book then. I wasn't practicing or even going to the library. I was just a young girl. I was just reading the book. But see, all of those things are supposed to shape you into who you're supposed to be. If you stay on path, if you stay the course. But honey, I detoured and some more stuff in my life. But it all happened for a reason and stuff. If it's true and your heart still is pure in that, it'll come back around to you. That's all I can say. It came back around to me because my heart always been sincere about my people now. I'm a mean drunk. So, yeah, we ain't going out clubbing and drinking and stuff. I might be your designated driver, but, yeah. But, I always had some empathy for our people, because of reading Roots. Because I was just a little girl. How the hell could they do this kind of stuff right here? And when they coming to get us, is they just going to leave us over here with these people? And damn, now, I'm older now. I'm mature now. And I see our people over here from Africa and stuff, honey, and you better not look at them too long either. So, yeah, I want to know what's done happened to my people. Who did it? Yeah, this is not us. This is not us. I feel like I done woke up in the twilight zone. Something, it just ain't right. So, yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why we here. Yep, and that right there, yeah, that's right there. I know I got to get that down to like what they call it, the elevator pitch. But, yeah, I got time. I can talk all day and stuff. I can talk all night if I want to. You can leave and come back. I still might be talking and reading. I might finish this book tonight. Yep, I just might. Y'all don't have to stay here. I don't never want y'all to feel like y'all got to stay here. I do a lot of repetition. You ain't missing too much. Hell, it is a recording. You can go back and look at it if you want to. Somebody will show me how to put the little, the little time stamps on it and stuff. Maybe not. And the ancestor didn't even say, worry about all that. They just said, set your ass down and read here. And yeah, and that's all I can do right now. When it's time for me to do the other things and stuff, then I'll be doing the other things, But I just got to work with what I got. What am I looking for? Oh, here it is right here. Because I did not memorize the copyright disclaimer because I don't even know if it's still going to be the same. But we just reading it for now. Copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And this was in 1976. I got to start looking at the Defiant Lawyers tomorrow, so I can see some updates on what's going on with Project 2025 and stuff. Cause it was a lot with that. I would say I go get it, but I was trying to print it out, but that 933-page document was like $92 to print it out. Cause we sure finna read it. And I'm gonna get it. We still gonna get it and read it and stuff, but I don't know when. Maybe when them taxes hit. But who knows? The ancestors will give it to us and stuff. But yeah, y'all, I was looking at this. Man, all these projects, programs, reports. So now we got agendas, events, projects, operations, bills, codes, laws, compromises, acts, memorabilia. What is it called? Memorandums. Memorandums, reports, courses against Black America. The largest study on Black America, y'all, is The American Dilemma, The Negro Problem and Modern Democracy 2. So is it part 1? We're going to find out. This is a book right here, y'all. This ain't no book. I don't know what this is. This is a study. Because it say right there, this 1944 publication is the largest study on Black America. I got BA. Now, in the other book that we was reading, it was saying BA as in Black Africa. Oh, no, that was something I was doing last night, and I was annotating it. And they were saying Black Africa. But see, here, now I be saying Black American because y'all was saying, quit saying African American. It's demeaning. And so I don't say African American no more. I put it when it's the book. When we're reading the book and stuff, and I got to put the title of the book like this right here. It say African Americans. Then I have to use it like that. But other than that, I started saying Black Americans. So I don't know if this is saying the largest study on Black America or Black Africa. But we going to get it, honey, because I believe it's both. I believe it's Black America and Black Africa. Hell, it's a 1,400 pages of genocide. So hell, maybe it's 700 pages on Black America and 700 pages on Africa. Black Africa. We just going to find out. I didn't know either. And it was what? It was a commission during the Roosevelt administration, financed by the Carnegie Foundation and organized by a Swedish-born author. And then somewhere along the way, I seen the name Gunnar Myrdal. I ain't researched it yet to see if he's the author. But once we put that title in, it'll come up. Yeah. It's just so much against Black American stuff. And I just want to know what the hell is going on. Who's done this? Who done this? When we find out who did it, that's going to be white America, and the common white man, the common white woman down here with us, they claim they struggling paycheck to paycheck too. And, we done married and mingled with them and stuff. They haven't done they all. Y'all ain't done y'all all for us. Y'all ain't been sincere for all the love and all the babies and marrying and, and building up life together and stuff. And then y'all turn around and let it be sacrificed. Shit, as far as I'm concerned, hell, you should have just stayed as you were, white woman. Y'all should have stayed as you were. Because you ain't helped that Black man. You ain't helped his people. You ain't even helping y'all kids you got together. No, why? Why? Why do that? Is that part of the whole scheme? To manipulate Black people? So that finally, we could be exterminated? Oh, genocide. See, it just not even making sense to me. Even more so, because if the sun, like I say, the cosmos manifested the Black woman and the Black man. If your heart say it manifested them together, then okay. It manifested both of them together. I ain't even gonna argue with you on that. So if the cosmos manifested us, and we the parent of all people, and it gave us dominion over all the animals and stuff like that and stuff, and then eventually other people came to be, What make us think white folks is the children of the sun? See, that can't be. We the children of the sun. So if we leave or exterminated or genocided, if our numbers get down so low, such a minuscule number, and the energy from that sun, and it ain't received, that's like making a phone call. And the phone just keep ringing. And nobody pick it up, and then you just hang up. Well, if the sun keep pushing that energy down here to us, and we not here, black people not here on this planet no more, or even if we are here, and it's like maybe 500,000 of us, 1 million. Let's say it's 2.5 million black people on the planet. That's it. 2 million black people on the planet. That's it. But anyway, I don't know what the number gonna be. Talk to the sun. The sun know when he gonna blow it up. But if white folks do succeed and get our numbers down so small, and the sun can't give its energy to us, and the energy got to go back to the sun gonna blow up. The sun cannot receive its energy back. The sun can't receive his energy back after he done sent it out. And it ain't enough living things on this planet to absorb the energy that he gives to his people, the chosen people, the children of the sun, to his children. So you see, all the other people on the planet, all the other living creation, the waters, the seas, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes and stuff, all the trees, all the shrubs, all the greenery, all the insects, the worms and spiders and flies and stuff, all the birds, all the sea life, everything is living, all the plant life, the big giraffes and elephants and everything. But all of that don't make up enough energy. It can't receive all of that energy that we would receive. It can't make it up. And the energy got to go back to the sun, and the sun can't handle it. See, white folks ain't thought about none of this. They have not thought about this. So I just want to say, if we're not going to make sure that we okay going forward, then yeah, let's just go ahead and have this talk with the sun. Let's go ahead and have this talk with the sun here. It's some old universes out there. Earth is just one planet among hundreds of planets. So, yeah, I think yeah. Makes sense to me. You? Well, we need to start talking about it. See what Neil got to say about it. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Because see, it's more than just here. Like white folks been talking about. They such liars. They are such liars. Talking like they know about out there and stuff. Oh, where are we? Y'all know we in the third part of this book. Racial violence in the United States. Yeah. And we are in the third part. We ain't got long to do. And I don't read that well. And you can't speed read through this. Even if I was a fluent reader like that, you cannot speed read through this. I can't anyway. So I have to just take my time and maybe do a chapter a night. If it's a real long chapter, hey, I'll break it up. But yeah, we getting there. And I'm so proud of y'all. Thank y'all for your patience and your presence too. Because I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. But hey, I just got to do what I got to do. And you do too. If this ain't it and stuff, you got to go find it. You don't want to sit somewhere where you're going to be hours and hours and hours. I don't even resonate with this. Then yeah, go find something else that you resonate with that's worthy for you. Because see, you looking too for your purpose. You looking for your purpose to be, your purpose to do whatever you here to do on this planet. We all are. I know we all just like, around looking in this door and looking in this window and looking in this door, looking behind this curtain, because we looking for it. we looking for, but just add your ancestors in with your prayer or your meditation. You know, I don't want you to think nobody praying on nobody. I don't even want to get started on the language and stuff, because you know this language is a curse. Every other word you say, you're probably cursing and don't even know it. So when we get up in the morning, before we even wash our face, we done told 3 people in the house good morning and done cursed them. And they don't know it and you don't know either. Because the language ain't ours. This language ain't ours. No, it'll never be ours. I don't care what white folks say. The Zoot effect in personality. A race riot participant. Let's see what this gonna look like. Oh, there goes some more graphs and stuff. Ooh, you know I ain't even good with math and stuff, but I'm gonna try to get through that part. Yeah, I might say that part for tomorrow, y'all. Cause that's a lot right there. That math is. This case is presented and analyzed for the following reasons. Number 1, it vividly illustrates the impact of racial prejudice and social isolation upon the personality of an individual who is a victim of such circumstances. Number 2, through an understanding of this case, it is possible to observe some implications of the pathology of racial prejudice, not only in reference to its effects upon the individual, but also in reference to the stability of the society as a whole. Who? See? Now, all of a sudden, we want to talk about the stability of the society as a whole. What society? See, he better not be talking about black society, the black Americans. Because throughout this whole book, where I've been reading, this man ain't said nothing to condemn, to chastise, to call out the racism that white people, the savageness that white people have been doing to black folks. But then it seemed to me like all of a sudden, when black people started fighting back and standing up for themselves and being on the lookout, protecting their communities, making sure white folks, white men didn't storm the communities, all of a sudden he calling them rioters, and then he calling the white people counter rioters. So, you know, yeah, I don't think me and Grimshaw gonna see eye to eye too much longer. I'll know at the end of this book if me and him gonna see eye to eye through his other readings too. Because I don't appreciate this. If this is what he's doing, that's why we got to tell our own stories. Because at no time was these victims in this book aggressors just for defending their own homes, defending their communities. Hell, if I know you come into my community to burn it down and rape our women and our daughters and our sisters, I'm going to meet your ass up the street too. And that's what black men was doing when they started protecting the community. They didn't post up right outside the house. They went up at the city limits. They went up to the entrance, that road that you take to come into that community. That's where they went. So then, you know, I guess they right there left open the loophole out that they came for trouble. They went looking for trouble. And that's where they were. In racial violence in Kentucky, it said that the black men was back here. They were guarding, making sure that the white mob didn't come through. Because behind them, it wasn't nothing but their community. Their homes, all the women, all the babies and stuff, all the children and stuff. And everybody knew that our men, our brothers, our sons, they going out to protect us. They can't let the white mob come in here. So while they was out there protecting, right there at the city limit, when you get ready to go into the black community and stuff, because, you know, white folk had their community over here, and the black folk communities over here. You know them railroad tracks had this down south. It was pretty much like that right there. So all the women and the sisters and the babies and stuff was back at home, and they were crying and nervous and stuff. And the men was all up, away from the home. protecting it, making sure that the white mob didn't get through and stuff. And that's why they say all the black men are aggressors. Are aggressors. You know, we got to tell our own stories. We got to tell our own stories. Number 2, through an understanding of this case, it is possible to observe some implications of the pathology of racial prejudice, not only in reference to its effects upon the individual, but also in reference to the stability of the society as a whole. All right, I'm going to keep it in mind. Number 3, it presents a clear picture of a personality undergoing a process of disintegration. Similar case studies might lead to insights concerning ways to check these patently disintegrated processes and stabilize the personality. Similar case studies might lead to insights concerning ways to check these patently disintegrated processes and stabilize the personality. Who? White folks? When racial problems and conflicts are seen in the light of their effects upon individual persons, rather than in broad, general, detached statistical terms, their psychological significance becomes clearer, and the practical implications for an applied social psychology become inescapable. But see, we're not looking at the racial problems as far as individuals. We're looking at it as a collective, a cultural thing. See, it's not just one white person or 2 or 3 or 10 or 100 white people. It's like thousands of white people. And, you know, I got to believe that if we inherited the instinctive fear and cautiousness of white folks, then white folks inherited that possibility. Yeah, that definitive possibility of, you know, the savage ravishness that their ancestors had. Some of these folks still alive here that their ancestors have. You know, yeah, you can't have one without the other. Hell, ain't nobody had no therapy. We ain't had none. Hell, white folks ain't either. If they finna try to ease and say that some white folks had some therapy and got help, that ain't good enough. That is not good enough. Sure way. I don't know who the hell thought that it was okay to keep us trapped, mainlined with white folks like they have done. That don't make no sense to me whatsoever. That is fucking crazy. Everybody ought to be ashamed of themselves for doing this to us. It wasn't nothing that they asked us that nobody done received in this lifetime to sit up there and let white folks do what they did and then escape with no judgment, no consequences whatsoever. And then got the nerve to sit up there and think and try to tell us that, oh, everything is all right, we're equal now, and we all got the same rights and the same opportunities. And here it is, everybody got some type of assistance, help, bunker. And black folks ain't got hardly nothing. You know? Man, we're some motherfucking cowards. Some motherfucking cowards. That's fucked up. Description of respondent. R is a dark skin. R is a brown. Yeah, I'm pissed. Man. R is a dark brown skinned Negro, 18 years old. He was born in New York City. For the past 2 years, he has lived alone in a rooming house in the center of Harlem. His mother, who is separated from his father, does not have enough room for him to live with her, although she visits him frequently to see how he was getting along. He was attending a vocational high school irregularly before he was notified by his draft board that he would be inducted into the Army. Then he decided to stop school and have some fun before his induction. You know, he just gonna go have a little fun, I guess. All of this right here. And black folks are motherfucking cowards. Act like ain't nothing even happened. Act like ain't nothing even happened. They ain't got to question nothing. They ain't got to be curious about nothing. Just gonna live and die, I guess. I guess everybody just gonna live and die and let whatever happen, let it happen again, let it come back around. Let's not prepare for it. Let's not tell our children that you need to learn nothing. You ain't got to prepare for nothing. You just live and die. Is that what we doing? Is that how we plan to live this next few 100 years, if that's what we got, until they fuck the whole world up, and you know, ain't nobody gonna be around here but the animals that they gonna stay off to themselves. The dogs gonna run away from people. You know? Yeah, man. Make me thirsty. I'm just like, you know, I'm so appalled. I'm so disappointed in us. Not just myself, you know, here, because I know if I'd have achieved the educational freedom and the financial freedom to make it to a place to help my people, you there, I'd have been on the blackballed list. I sure would have. That would have been the honor. See, that would have been an honor to me, not to get on some motherfucking screen performing about nothing whatsoever. The shit ain't even good to dance off of. You know, man, oh, please, let's just teach our babies. Let's just teach our babies and teach them to love themselves. Love your people. Please love black people. Teach our babies to love our people. Yeah, we gotta tell them this. Because, see, they're going to love other people. That's a given. I don't know how. That's just a given. That our babies, our people, maybe that's how they see us. We instinctively love other people. But when it comes to us, we don't. So, yeah, we got to make that part of our lifescape, you know, like the landscape. When you change your landscape in your yard and stuff, we got to do a whole lifescape. Let's teach our babies to love black people. Start teaching them tomorrow in the morning when they get up to love black people. You see your little black friend, your little neighbor need help. She done fell down and dropped the books or whatever. Help her. Help her. She might be going through something. You know, we got to start loving each other. I mean, yeah, use your mind. You know what your social circles look like. People in your family, your friends, they kids and stuff. You know, sister, little girl can't read and her ass is 12 years old. And you know she can't read. Your motherfucking ass. And then you sitting here and you got Niecy at home. Oh, honey, Niecy is an A student. Yeah, Niecy an A student, honey. Niecy love to read. And you so proud of her. And not one time have you told Niecy to go help Ticey. Buy y'all, here I bought you and Ticey some workbooks. You and Ticey, go on and bake y'all some, I'm gonna bake y'all some cookies. You know. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. What do it make you feel so much better because your baby is a straight A student and your friend daughter, your cousin daughter, which around the same age, can't read? That make you feel so much better because your baby is a straight A student and the other little girl, her friend, her cousin, can't read at all. See, you got to do better. You got to do better. Because we going about this all wrong. We doing things to us that's actually sabotaging us. The brainwash we've been through. So let's read. Let's read about R. So R, he done got drafted into the Army. He going to have him some fun. His recreational activities were limited to attending moving pictures, occasional non-membership contracts with the community, YMCA, and membership in a neighborhood cellar club or game. When asked whether he attended church, he replied, yeah, I go to the Baptist church once a year, Christmas. Comic books, particularly Batman, and the New York Daily News dominate his reading. It is the opinion of the interviewer that this respondent was one of the brightest members of a group of civilian defense messengers with whom he had periodic contact. He not only appeared to be superior in intelligence, but also definitely possessed qualities of leadership. At the time that R was interviewed, he was dressed in his usual manner. He wore rusty brown shoes, striped blue socks, extremely pegged pants. They were narrow at the ankles and wide at the knee. A quite long jacket, a worn white shirt with an open collar, no tie, and a hat with an extremely wide brim. These comply with the basic requirements of the Zoot suit style. You know, like on Malcolm X, when Malcolm and Spike Lee were walking, and they had on the Zoot suits. Yeah, them the Zoot suits. I remember when they were walking at the end and stuff, and you know they were swinging their arm like that. And my daughter, she was little. My granddaughter, she was little. And when they finished with that screen right there, that screen, and they was up close like that right there, she just fell out laughing. She loved that part of the movie right there. And that's what I think about when I think about the Zoot suits and stuff. But let's read. I know. I went back there then. When the interviewer saw him for the first time on the evening of the interview, he was engaged in animated conversation with two other members of his CD messenger unit. He was telling his audience what he was going to do when he got into the Army, that he wanted to be assigned to the cavalry unit so that he could ride a horse. His demonstrations in acting, which accompanied his conversations, indicated genuine talent. He often changed his voice to make a narrated conversation sound more realistic. A sawed-off broomstick, which he held in his hands, was used as a convenient prop, sometimes as a nightstick and sometimes as a rifle. During the course of this conversation, R, unprompted by the interviewer, began to discuss the 1943 Harlem riot and his role in it. The riot had taken place about a month before this. The interviewer, realizing that this was an excellent opportunity to obtain a case record from an active participator in the riot, desired to take notes on his conversation as he talked, but realized that this might inhibit him and therefore decided against it. After he finished his account to the group, the interviewer casually said to R, "You ought to write a book." He replied, probably because he knew that the interviewer was a college student, "Why don't you? Are you going to write a book?" This gave the interviewer an opportunity to tell him that he would like a record of his account of his experiences in the riot. He readily agreed to cooperate, and the interviewer immediately made arrangements to interview him in a private office. What the motherfucker do? Backstabbing? Oh, made him out to be the writer. See what I was talking about? See? We can't never trust him and stuff. We got to tell our own stories. We got to tell our own stories. During the interview, he was anxious to have every word recorded just as he said it. He was proud to be interviewed and was extremely entertaining and cooperative. He walked, sometimes stalked, up and down as if he were imitating the behavior of big businessmen dictating to their secretaries, as portrayed in the moving pictures. Every now and then he would stop and say, "What you got there? Read it back to me." At the end of the interview, he said, "Let me know how your book comes out." But see, he done told this man all this information about the riot. And, you know, he was in the riot and stuff, protecting himself, trying not to get strung up on a light post by the white mob. Interview in subject's own words. The following excerpts are indicative of R's rejection of ordinary social values. Oh, the following excerpts are indicative of R's rejection of ordinary social values. The complete absence of sympathy in observing physical brutality inflicted upon other individuals, and the absence of guilt feelings in reference to his own participation in antisocial behavior. Ooh, wee. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we got to tell our own stories and stuff, you know. And yeah, I don't know, we got to be cautious, use discernment, you know. I mean, look how I can just imagine he done turned this whole thing around. Man. Number one, before the riot starts, I was in the Harlem dump theater where the bed bugs and roaches and rats and cats run across the floor. This statement appears to indicate some insight to and resentment of the ghetto-like deprivation of his environment. It is not of interest, however, that no similar statement recurs in the rest of the interview. Some 2x4 motherfucker runs in there and says that Harlem is on fire. The niggas jump up half full of juice and running for the goddamn door. Me leading, of course. As we got out the door, a sawed-off son of a bitch runs by with 15 of Crawford's and Howard's suits and peg pants, the Zoot suits. A root suit with a reed pleat and a stuffed cuff started the shit off. By this time, the niggas have torn off half of Harlem. So as the friend of mine that's writing this sweet line of bullshit, the shit rose from 11 o'clock that night till about 5 o'clock next morning. By this time, half of Harlem is on fire. Number two, the riot started when a colored man got shot. About half an hour later, the riot was going full blast, and the people was going around stores. They was fucking up the place. Quite naturally, the party writing, this was it. Quite naturally, the party writing, this was in it. They fucked up 25th Street badly. They hit shoe stores, beat the shit out of a cop standing there unmercifully. A 16-year-old boy hit a thing. White boy with glasses on, blast his fucking head off while they bashed his head in unmercifully. The party that you're writing about goes in a store and helps himself to the man's cash register. The store next to the A&P goes in there. There was nothing there. While I goes in there, a lady was stealing a man's big half a cow. While she was coming out, a cop was asking her where in the hell she was going. She said, "Kiss my ass." Back on 25th Street, they steal the man's goddamn material. Beats the shit out of a couple of cops, which was great for me. As I was coming out, some son of a bitch busts a window and a piece of glass catches my leg, and he showed the gash. Then I really got mad. R's attitude towards social authority, police, and the army is revealed by paragraphs 3, 4, and 5 of his interview. His complete disregard for the ordinary social prestige values of a stable society is particularly evident in his fantasy description of the incident involving the mayor's attempt to restore order. Let's read. 3. P.S. I left out a little bit. I jumped in a first store, got myself $300 in cash, was on my way out the motherfucking store. A big white bastard stood up in front of the door. Cop, of course, hit me in my head with that big ass nightstick, which really rocked my brains, and told me to empty out my pockets. He found $300 on me and called another cop. Then the other cop tells the cop that hit me to let the black bastard go, taking the $300 and putting it in his pocket. Number 4, whoever's going to read this little letter of introduction, let him know it was hell down there. By the time you read this, I will be fighting for Uncle Sam, the bitches, and I do not like it worth a damn. I'm not a spy or a saboteur, but I don't like going over there fighting for the white man, so be it. Number 5, well, John the man, Mayor LaGuardia, comes over. he jumps up and hollers, "Good people of Harlem." And before he could get the rest of the words out of his mouth, a brick smacked him upside his head. He jumps down, jumps in his car, and goes to his castle, a bunker. That's his home. Knocks himself out, some shut-eye, has 3 or 4 Johns, policemen, outside of his door to keep the niggas from running across his ass while he is asleep. The next morning, he jumps out his castle bunker and hollers, "Good people of Harlem, restore order." Well, if you do not know the rest, anytime you wish to see a riot start up again. Further evidence of R's rejection of socially accepted values and his acceptance of values peculiar to a restricted, distorted, antisocial environment and perspective is to be found in his description of the riots in paragraphs 6, 7, 8, and 9. That his callous, unsympathetic attitude is not restricted to whites, but extends to Negroes and even to himself is also evident in these excerpts and in the interview as a whole. These son of a bitches can't be trusted for nothing. How about you bet? I bet Art didn't even go to the army. No, this motherfucker right here set him up. His ass went to jail. Part 6. PSS. Stands for PS. It's got it in parentheses. Stand for PS. Well, as I was running up 8th Avenue, cops was whipping guys' asses left and right. Well, I managed to miss an ass whipping till I got to 125th Street and Lenox Avenue. Just as I get to Lenox Avenue and 25th Street, a white man was coming down the street toward the subway, which he couldn't get into. Some young colored hoodlums beat the shit out of him, bashing his glasses into his head. The man takes his hand and put it into his pocket and emptying his pocket into the street with the little bit of money he had, which was a damn dumb thing to do. So back up to St. Nicholas Avenue and 125th Street. The colored people of Harlem, evil as they are, got mad. A trolley car comes along packed with fake people, that's white people, and a few colored people grabbing the trolley and the conductor to keep him from driving the trolley, while other people throw rocks and stones into the window, causing serious accidents. Half juiced, that's half drunk, half juiced, the rest of the people grab the trolley and begin lifting it into the air while the other people that was in the trolley climbs out the window. By this time, everybody was in a panic, and I ain't kidding. Lifting the trolley considerably in the air, the cops run over to the scene of the crime and starts whipping asses like hell. Beats one colored man damn near to death before he let go of the trolley. So they just beating his ass, beating him, but he still was holding the trolley up in the air and stuff. White folk just running out the trolley, just jumping out the front window, the back window, jumping over the driver, trying to get out the trolley and stuff. But see, white folks had started this riot, and I guess black folk was standing up for themselves. I mean, it don't seem like black folk just started rioting. I don't know. Let's read. Number 7. Oh, he took a whole lot of interviews on R. Number 7, BS. Bullshit, I guess. One boy broke into Bush, located 125th Street and 7th Avenue. A flatfoot with a sawed-off rifle watches the boy when he enters the store, waits till the boy comes out, draws a bead on the boy, and begins to fire. A colored lady jumps in front of the cop, turns her black ass up to the cop and tells him, "Why don't you shoot me in the back?" The cop gets excited when the rest of the crowd begins to walk over, puts the rifle down, lowered it rather, and walks away. By this time, there's more blood, blue blood, in the streets of Harlem. Tired as I am from running, I decides to go home. Tired of getting my ass whipped. Goes upstairs, bloody as a bat. Tries to knock myself a little shut-eye. Number 8. Well, I have told my story as I see it. I hope that it will do you some good, because it meant my ass getting whipped. That's why I'm here to tell you. BS. Bullshit, I guess. As I was stealing, I had a croaker sack, a burlap bag, load with soup to nuts. I have a radio in the bottom of the sack, coming along half juiced and half so, more juice than ever. Some son of a bitch Can't steal around Harlem without getting something stole from you. Cuts the bottom of the croaker sack and helps himself to my radio. Walking a little ways, they caught a Faye. They caught a Faye beating. That's white people. A Faye beating the hell out of him, half to death. The man pulls the same shit that the other one did, throwing the money into the air and running like hell. The boys was fighting left and right for a $2 bill, tearing it in half. One of the boys say, "You give me your half." And the other one says, "You give me your half." Stubborn as they was, neither one of them gave in. As tired as I was scuffling. I guess myself $50. Grabbing a white man and using him for a blockbuster, heaves his ass through a big grocery store window. Cut the man considerably. Along comes Johnny Bull, the policeman, marching him and his blood ass off to the hospital. BS. A cop was running along whipping the hell out of a colored man like they do in Slaughter Pen, throwing him into the police car or a struggle buggy, marching him off to the jail. That's that. Strange as it may seem, ass whipping is not to be played with. So as I close my little letter of introduction, I leave this thought with thee. Yeah, so it be. I leave this thought with thee. Do not attempt to fuck with me. An expression of manifest defiance, even though stated in charismatic and characteristic, humorous vein. Yours truly. 6 question marks. P.S. BS. P.S. bullshit. Yep. And then it says voluntary afterthoughts in R's own words. Remember the picture in the newspapers of those boys in the top hats and full dress coats with sleeves down to here? The book said he demonstrated. With sleeves down to here. Well, I know one of them. And I told him he better take them off. And he said, "Oh, man, I'm having fun. I know this brother too. I know his brother too." Well, that bastard is making time in jail now. People was fitting on shoes and stuff. One old bastard was juiced, and he was sitting down with some new shoes. And he had a bottle between his legs like this. He had another demonstration. I saw one dummy where the vest was glued on. A son of a bitch took a whole dummy. Oh, wait a minute. A son of a bitch took the whole goddamn dummy into the hallway and stripped it. I had a fine pair of floor sheen bantam weights, but niggas grabbed one of them. I was going to hawk that shit, sell it or wear it. The only thing I took was money. The rest of that shit was too hot. I wasn't figuring on spending no time in jail. I saw a nigga with a big slab of bacon on his shoulder that night. Man, I went out and had a bacon sandwich. I ain't lying. I saw one bastard breaking his back with a sack of flour. I didn't steal no damn food. One woman was sending her daughter out and telling her that if someone troubled her to say, "I sent you out." I was eating and eating. I grabbed a hunk of bologna and just chewed it all the way down on one side. This was demonstrated with the stick representing the bologna. And they messed up in sugar, walking in it, pissing in it. And one woman come up there with a bag and just pushed the messed up sugar aside with her hands and filled up her bag. And she said, "Sugar is scarce, you know." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." He let her get it. Is there anything else you would like to say? The interviewer asked at the close of the free interview. No. Anything you want to emphasize? Peace, for it is truly wonderful. It's an old saying of Father Divine. Yeah. Summary impressions. R's account of the events of the Harlem Riot cannot be approached as if it were a description of these events as they actually occurred. There are many statements of this respondent which cannot be reconciled with the objectively determined facts of this incident. The significance of this interview is to be found in its psychological implications, what it reveals about R's fantasies, desires, perspective, and the pattern of distortion of a personality which becomes compatible with proud participation in acts of racial group violence. The major indices of distortion, if not disintegration of the personality of the respondent, are number one, there's a complete lack of manifest guilt feelings in reference to his own participation in antisocial acts. Two, there is a habitual, seemingly deliberate disregard of even the simple rules of grammar in his ordinary speech, probably a specific indication of a generalized defiance of the larger society. Yeah, kind of like, we speak and even spell our words differently than white America. Yeah, kind of like that. So I guess he's saying that he's ignorant or retarded or slow or unintelligent. But then he clearly sees that it's a defiance, even in its minuscule way, Number three, there is an excessive use of profanity in ordinary conversation, even in the presence of individuals whom he obviously respects, indicating the possibility that these words have been used with such frequency by the individual that they either become meaningless or are another symptom of habitual social defiance and cynicism. They become normal for his rigidly restricted ideation, ideational and behavioral sphere. Yeah. Well, I'll cuss when I feel like it. Number four, a complete lack of manifest sympathy, sorrow, or other human feelings in observing and reporting acts of brutality inflicted upon another or even upon himself. This cannot be ascribed to the objectivity of his report, since it is certainly not objective. Further, this index is consistent with the overall pattern of his personality as indicated in the specific interview situation and as observed in general. Number five, a general tendency to engage in exhibitionistic exaggeration, bordering upon fantasy in descriptions of events in which he was allegedly involved. The same exhibitionist is shown in his general language and in his dress. Number six, a definite rejection of social authority, prestige of public administrators and police. This manifest process of distortion and disintegration in a personality who otherwise could be described as intelligent and having qualities of leadership, and who shows by his description of the riot in which he participated a subtle sense of humor, demands some clarifying dynamic interpretation. The particular structure of R's personality and perspective as revealed by this interview seems best described by the term the Zoot effect. The Zoot effect in American culture appears to manifest itself when the human personality has been socially isolated, rejected, discriminated against, and chronically humiliated. It is the consequence of the attempts of the individual to stabilize himself and maintain some ego security in the face of these facts. It is not primarily a racial phenomenon, since a given person of any race who is subjected to the determining conditions may manifest this effect in personality structure. It appears evident that the degree to which this effect exists as a part of total personality pattern may vary from individual to individual, from 0 to complete saturation, like from 0 to 100. Together with the obvious characteristics of R outlined above, the Zoot effect may involve other expressive characteristics also found in R. Modifications of language, like he's deliberately ungrammatical. High saturation of slang or profane words in ordinary speech, manner and inflection of speech, swagger or exaggeration of some aspect of style of walking, and more obvious and widely recognized manner of dress. In short, it appears to represent an observable deviation in style of life, veering toward the asocial, or towards those areas which permit, within the larger social framework, certain exhibitionist exhibitionist patterns of many individuals living within, but not a part of the larger cultural and societal context. The distortions in perspective and social values, which seem inevitably to accompany the Zoot effect, may best be interpreted as follows. The generally accepted social values have definite meaning and stabilizing function for only those individuals who are part of and permitted free interaction with the larger unrestricted social field. These values seem to have little meaning or function for the individual who has been deliberately and involuntarily isolated and rejected from the functions and benefits of the society as a whole. Socially desirable values, therefore, having no meaning and function for such an individual who is forced to develop within a humiliating, contracted social field, are discarded. The individual appears then to construct for himself or to acquire from his restricted field new values which are appropriate to his restricted status. These new values may be antisocial, but it appears that the important factor for such an individual is not the larger social acceptability of his values or perspective, but rather whether they serve the function of stabilizing his ego, which had been threatened by the prestige and status in the restricted case to which he had been relegated and therefore forced to seek his primary social adjustment. It seems probable that the Zoot effect also involves a pattern of conscious or unconscious protest against society at large, which has imposed restrictive and humiliating conditions upon individuals and groups. Black, just say it. All of this bullshit going around the bush and stuff, the shit that white folks did to black people. And it put them in this little bitty box. Because I remember I was listening to Dick Gregory, and Dick Gregory said, yeah, when that Zoot suit came out, and the black man stepped out, and he was all sharp and clean and suave in his Zoot suit, that was to let the white man know, oh yeah, you might be laughing over that motherfucker, but you see me. You see me now. So did, yep. So let's read. It is clear that many of the facets of the Zoot suit are antisocial, unconcerned for the value of human personality as such, and for property rights. It may be that the disregard of property rights stems out of a basic desire for revenge and incipient aggression against this seemingly very important aspect, property, of the larger society. This may also be one of the symbolic attempts, conscious or unconscious, of the individual further to stabilize himself and seek ego security by indicating to a society which he perceives as rejecting him, that he in turn has rejected this larger society, its values, its ideals, and its property. So we're saying, on the other hand, the black man wearing the Zoot suit might be letting society know, here, you don't want me and I don't want y'all asses either. So, that's what it's saying about the Zoot suit instead of the black man saying, well, I don't want y'all asses either, shit. And I reject your ideals, your values, and your motherfucking property. See, they done came up with a whole mindset of how the black man thinks. Further, it seems that what appears to be a permeating cynicism and callous indifference to the human and material values of the larger society is essentially an imperative mechanism of the individual, utilized for the purpose of concealing a deep-seated hurt or scars in his personality. Racial stereotyping and concepts of inherent antisocial tendencies of certain races are clearly incompatible with the above interpretation. Rather, it suggests that the stability of the individual personality and the stability of the larger society are inextricably interrelated, and therefore the socially accepted dehumanization of an individual or group must inevitably manifest itself in societal disturbances. Should have got the hell away from white America when we had the chance. We should have got the hell away from when we had the chance. So should have, honey. Oh, we look at here. Let's see how we looking on time and stuff. Because I think me and Grimshaw, I know, a lot of these are not his thoughts and stuff. But hell, some of them are. I mean, he didn't have to put that the black men defending themselves were rioters. I'm sure he could have put that they were finally standing up for themselves and they were on the watch 24/7 for anything that was moving, sneezing, sounding like they were finna be a danger or a threat to their community. Why couldn't they have phrased it like that? Why phrase it like, oh, they out looking, waiting for trouble. They looking for trouble. So now they were waiting for white men to come into their communities, And then it seemed to me like once they did, switch the roles, made the victim the aggressor and the aggressor the victim, then that was all it took. After then, it's like, the black man was seen as the aggressor and not the victim defending himself. We're going to read just a little bit more of this right here because this talking about group violence. Who? Black people? Is it just now talking about white folks? Or it has done switched the flip script, and now they talking about black folks? In the worst way, I mean. See? Yeah, we're going to read this book again. Yeah. In the journey, the evolution of this channel, we do repetition. We will be having repetition of some of these books that we read in here because it's too deep to just read it one time and then that's just it. I can't do it. Yeah, I love repetition. Yeah, group violence, a preliminary study of the attitudinal pattern of its acceptance and rejection. All right, let's see now. Group violence, a preliminary study of the attitudinal pattern of its acceptance and rejection. So we're going to do a study of the attitudinal pattern of accepting and rejecting group violence. A study of the 1943 Harlem Riot. The problem. There have been few psychological studies of this nature of the individual's motivational pattern which would determine participation in a violent group behavior. Meir, Meninga, and Stokes, 1941, attempted to deal somewhat with this problem when they asked 79 male and 45 female college students to answer questions as, would you join a mob if you knew you would not be punished? They found that 12% of their subjects stated that they would have joined under any circumstances. Hell, even if it would be punishment, they still would have joined. And 72% would not, while the remainder would have joined conditionally. The authors conclude on the basis of Bernreuter, Bernreuter responses, and the authors conclude on the basis of Bernreuter responses, the participators are more extroverted and that early religious training is a dominant drive to deterrence of mob action. Yeah, that's because early religious training and stuff, you learning how to forgive and forget, turn the other cheek and set your ass down. Don't fight back. Yep. There will be reason to discuss this later conclusion below. Well, that's what I think. Many investigations have shown that interracial riots and mob action are related to certain social inadequacies suffered by both the white and colored groups. Poor housing, poor recreational facilities, transportation inadequacies, discrimination in housing, discrimination in employment, discriminative higher prices in Negro neighborhoods, etc., etc. These factors are undoubtedly important in understanding the social context within which violent group behavior develops and manifests itself. A subsidiary transitional area must be explored, however, in order to obtain a more complete understanding of the psychology of group violent behavior. While it is obviously true that the stated environmental inadequacies are causally related to interracial violent group behavior, This relation is clearly not an immediate, direct one. Their causal impact occurs through the mediation of groups of individuals who are similarly affected and react in concert. In the final analysis and immediate acts, it is people, not conditions, who riot. What are the changes, therefore, that have been brought about in these conditions, in the motivational pattern of people, which make them riot? What are the changes in values and patterns of attitudes, which result in the attitude of the individual to participate in or condone violent group behavior? What is the difference, if any, in the pattern of attitudes and social values of those who participate in riots or condone them from those who condemn or reject this type of violence? Now, this study right here said that it asked 79 male and 45 females this question here. Okay. And then, they said that there was whites and blacks that were affected by poor housing, poor recreational facilities, transportation inadequacies, discrimination in housing, and discrimination in employment, and, discriminative high prices in Negro neighborhoods. And these factors are undoubtedly important in understanding the social context within which violent group behavior develops and manifests itself. So when it's asking all of these questions right here, talking about what are the changes, therefore, that have been brought about in these conditions in the motivational pattern of people, which make them riot. What are the changes in values and patterns of attitudes which result in the ability of the individual to participate in or condone violent group behavior? What is the difference, if any, in the pattern of attitudes and social values of those who participate in riots or condone them from those who condemn or reject this type of violence? Why didn't they ask these questions about white folks? The first few massacres, why didn't they do no study on them 5,000 white folks that congregated, that telepathically, they didn't even have to telepathically did. I don't even know if they can do that or not. I know they all be of the same mindset when they know. Because it was the newspapers, Kentucky already said it was the newspapers that were putting the word out that there was going to be a lynching. And so maybe that's how it ended up being 5,000 white people, because once one newspaper put the story out, then the other newspapers put the story out. So all the surrounding counties were getting the stories. And that's how they knew, hey, we're going to a lynching. And that's how it ended up being 5,000 white people, 10,000 white people, 20,000 white people. One lynching had 100,000 white people there. It make you wonder, how the hell can you even see? Where are you? Why? It's like, was it even anything left of him? Because everybody came through, like at the funeral, when you go through and see the body and say, everybody, all them white folks came through, and cut them a little piece off. These seem to be pertinent questions, but they ask to the wrong people, man. For psychologists to attempt to answer, why about black people? See, why is this study on black people, the victims? Why ain't nobody seemingly, to me, doing no studies on white folks? Why? Grimshaw? Alan D. Grimshaw, that's his name. Let's read. Let's see. An exhaustive, definitive study of this problem would have to include as subjects those individuals who actually participated in riots. It would be desirable to obtain as subjects those people who were detained by the police as riot participants. For the present analysis, this procedure was impossible, so therefore the following method of investigation was adopted. Procedure. Within a month after the Harlem riots, a group of social science students interviewed residents and storekeepers of the Harlem area. An attempt was made to approximate a representative sample of individuals. Upon the basis of the interviewer's response to the first question, he was classified into one of three groups as follows: A, accepted or condoned; B, rejected or condemned the riots; or C, neither accepting nor rejecting the riots. They don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't know, I don't care, leave me alone. Table 1 presents the table number. Table 1 presents the total number of subjects according to percentage of those accepting or rejecting group violence with a breakdown according to sex. And yeah, I'm just going to have to show you this right here because the only thing I back can remember is pi, and I don't even see pi. So that's what it looked like. Yep, that's what it looked like. We're getting into the statistics now. Yeah, yeah, math ain't even my forte. But I will tell you, table 1 says total Negro N equals 67 for the males, and 33 N equals 67. Males 33 and females is 34. N 67 is for neither. And 33% of the male said yeah. 34 the female. Interviewees were classified as accepting or rejecting this riot as a form of group protest. The specific problem of this preliminary investigation is, therefore, to what extent is there a demonstrable difference in certain background factors and relevant attitudinal pattern between the group which rejected or condemned and the group which verbally, at least, accepted or condoned this riot? The results. It can be seen from an analysis of Table 1 that the majority, 60% of the total group of Negroes interviewed, rejected and condemned the riot, while 30% accepted or justified it. An examination of the protocols indicated a marked divergence in emotional tone of these differentiating responses. Among the responses of the rejectors, there's a strong pattern of personal guilt feelings, which seem to play an important role in the expressed attitudes. These guilt feelings, as expressed by such responses as disgrace to race, or an awful thing, a terrible thing, are obviously not found among the acceptors, since this was one basis of differentiating the two groups. The difference between the two groups is not one of degree or quality of emotionality, since both groups appear equally emotional. The ones that's riding, are emotionally angry and upset and pissed off. And I guess the other ones are crying and stuff. But again, it just seemed to me like, he's just talking about black people, referring to black people now, which right now I feel like we in the chastising. We in the condemning of rioting and massacring and destroying and maiming. But he ain't been in the condemning this whole time. Maybe it's just me. They do say reading is fundamental. The difference between the two groups is not one of degree or quality of emotionality, since both groups appear equally emotional. The major aspects of the general attitude of the rejectors toward the riot is expressed in the following evaluations. Disgrace to the race. Awful, terrible. Senseless, stupid, ridiculous, silly, does no good for the race. An opportunity to loot. Unfortunate, pathetic, sorrowful. Most detailed analysis of the responses of the rejectors reveals that those who rejected the riots as being a disgrace to the race appear to be reacting with personal guilt feelings and personal shame. It can be seen from their verbatim reports that they identified themselves because of racial similarity with the participants in the riot. They used the first person plural for the most part, giving responses such as set us back. On the other hand, the rejectors who characterized the riots as awful, terrible, or senseless, stupid, ridiculous, and silly do not indicate by their responses any dynamic identification of themselves with the riot participants. They, for the most part, use the third person of plural. They only hurt themselves or project the guilt on Southerners, vandals, or conspirators. In fact, it is clear that when these moralistic evaluative judgments are made, they occur with the attempts of the respondent to disassociate himself completely from the people involved in the riot, like black folks do. In spite of racial similarity. Yeah, he talking about nothing but black folks here. He ain't even talking about white folks, what they done did, or what they plan to do, how all of them just instinctively move like a swarm when they were attacking black communities and stuff. When one moved that way, all of them did. If they had to split up, say the military, this the swarm, and when the military came in through town and stuff, or the troops, the swarm broke up. And some of them flew off their way, and some of them flew off their way. Then when they got around the troops, they came back together and they swarmed. You know, but ain't been no condemnation. Ain't been no condemning white folks yet. Not in Red Summer, not in racial violence in Kentucky. And so far, racial violence in the United States, I ain't read no condemning. I think I'm the one sitting here condemning their asses. That's probably why I'm hoarse. And y'all, but I don't see it in this book right here. So you see, yeah, I'm having a problem with this. So, in fact, it is clear that when these moralistic, evaluative judgments are made, they occur with the attempts of the respondent to disassociate himself completely from the people involved in the riot, in spite of racial similarity. Examining the responses of the acceptors and condoners of the riot, it is seen that their reactions range from strong, enthusiastic, ecstatic approval through to approval for trivial personal benefit. The majority of the acceptors reacted to riot in terms of its being an expression of the pent-up resentment of the Negro. Retribution and revenge for their having been cheated. It will be seen that many rejectors mention this point, but not in context. The fact that these rejectors did not mention this point in their response to the initial question, while the acceptors did, developed to be a significant point of difference between these two groups. The further fact that many of the rejectors mentioned this point later in their interview, that's item B, table 10, is one of the significant areas in which these two groups appear to be quite similar. This peculiar pattern, at one time, involving differences and similarities, can be interpreted only in the light of assuming a differential perspective and a difference in attitudinal and value weight for a given awareness, which is held equally by both groups. This postulate is essential to an interpretation of the results of this report as a whole and must be referred to frequently in this analysis. Comparative analysis of background material for each group. Tables 2 through 8 are practically self-explanatory. And if we read it again, we'll go over it another time. We're just going to read the page now, but I'm going to show it to you. Look, in case you want to look it up or something. See? Now, that right there is what it's saying. And this is, what page am I? This is it right here. So I'm not going to read all of that and stuff. I feel like it, but yeah, I'm trying to get us through this chapter right here. We ain't going to be here all night. Oh, it's a lot on these pages too with all these numbers and statistics and stuff. Shit. The results which they present suggest that many of the common sense beliefs concerning the characteristics of the militant Negro are open to questions. While these are preliminary results, in the light of the admitted inadequacies of this study, the fact that the acceptors are not actually participators, they reveal suggestive information concerning the comparative characteristics of the militant versus the more conservative Negro. For this analysis, it is assumed that the acceptors or condoners are more militant, while the rejectors are more conservative. An examination with respect to the general tone of the complete interviews of each group indicates that this assumption is not unwarranted. As can be seen from these tables, 2 through 9, in no area are the differences strikingly marked. However, there are some differences which are of interest because they all appear to be contrary to common sense expectations. Age. Results presented in Table 2 indicate that the younger respondents tend to be more conservative, while the older group is more militant. It is of interest that in the age groups from 20 to 30 and from 30 to 40, there are no differences. It is difficult to reconcile explanation of racial unrest and tensions as due to the increased militance of younger Negroes and the stereotype of the satisfied older Negro with these results. Rather, these results suggest an increase in militancy in the Negro with an increase in age. This may reflect a crystallization of cumulative social disillusionment into a more structured This may reflect a crystallization of cumulative social disillusionment into a more structured resentment as the individual grows older. Education. There is a higher percentage of respondents who claim some college training among the more militant group than among the rejectors. On the other hand, there's a higher percentage of lower education status among the more conservative group, the rejectors. Church attendance. As can be seen from Table 4, there is a tendency for those who seldom or never attend church to be somewhat more militant. Those who attend frequently or every Sunday are more conservative because they ask for giving. This finding would tend to support Meyer, M-E-I-E-R, Meninga, M-E-N-N-I-N-G-A, and Stoltz, S-T-O-L-Z. And Stoltz's conclusion that religious training is a deterrent to mob action. It must be repeated, however, that the acceptors, the militant group, are not actual participators or even necessarily would be participators. Further, it should be pointed out in the light of these results that religious training, as reflected in stated frequency of church attendance, does not appear to be an absolute basis or even an acceptably stable one of differentiating between militant and conservative Negroes. Relevant to this point is the fact that a high percentage, 25%, of the acceptor, the militant Negroes, state that they attend church every Sunday, than do the 20% rejectors, the conservatives. Place of birth. Table 5 indicates that there's a slight tendency for the West Indian Negro, the native New York Negro, and the Southern Negro to be conservative in the presented order. The northern-born non-native New Yorker is comparatively the most militant as a group. These tentative results seem contrary to the often stated belief that racial unrest in the North is primarily due to the influx of Southern Negroes who mistake freedom for license, or that the West Indian Negro is more radical than the American Negro. It does, however, tend to support the contention that native New Yorkers are likely to be more conservative. Newspapers mentioned as red. As can be seen from Table 6, there is general similarity between the percentage of each group claiming to have read each of the listed newspapers, with the exception of PM and the Journal American readers. PM, a crusading newspaper devoted more than the usual amount of space to focus social issues with emphasis upon spotlighting social injustices, had, as would be expected, a higher percentage of claimed readers among the militant group. It should be emphasized, however, that of all the respondents who mentioned PM, the majority were in the conservative group. Ironically, the one subject who claimed to be a reader of the Daily Worker, Communist Party newspaper, was classified among the conservatives. Of the 10 claimed readers of the Journal American, a Hearst newspaper, 9 were classified among the conservatives, and 1 was classified as militant. The practically complete identity of the percentage of militants and percentage of conservatives reading the other papers would indicate that these figures merely reflect circulation and appear in no way related to the attitudinal pattern of acceptance or rejection of group violence. Negro newspaper. Ooh, Table 7 presents results which indicate that, contrary to some prevalent opinion, the Negro press does not appear to be a significant factor in developing a pattern of attitudes which would lead to the acceptance of group violence among Negroes. It is seen that a higher percentage of rejectors, the conservative, spontaneously mention a Negro newspaper when asked what newspapers they read. They read. These results in terms of the incidence of unprompted mention of a Negro newspaper seems a more basic indicator of the degree to which a Negro newspaper is read and accepted than are the responses obtained after specific prompting. And this is presented in B, Table 7, relatives in the Army. Table 8 indicates that there is little difference between the militant and the conservative group in this area. What slight difference exists is in the direction of a larger percentage of the militant group having relatives in the Army. I think let's look at the time here, because if we finish this right here, I think we'll be on another chapter. I don't know if I can do it. I'm stuttering right now. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I probably can. I probably can do it. Yeah, I can do it. I can do this. I'm stuttering right now though, but yeah, I'm about reading out one eye today. Come on, let's just finish this, y'all. Explanations of cause of riot. An examination of the response presented in Table 9 reveals a difference in the pattern of types of causes of the riot presented by the acceptors as contrasted to those of rejectors. In spite of this general difference in pattern of ascribed causes, it is of interest to point out that the majority of the rejectors, 32.5%, believed the riot was due to general racial tensions and resentment of injustice. This reason was also offered by the majority, 45% of the acceptors. They agreed with it too. A total of 35% of the rejectors ascribed the riot to various reasons, not mentioned by any of the acceptors, as can be seen in Table 10. These reasons tended to be generally more specific, isolated from the general context of racial attitudes, violence and looting for own sake, citing the specific precipitating incident, the policeman and the soldier, or transferring the blame to out-of-towners. Characterization of riot participants. The responses to this question, the answers tabulated in Table 10, may logically be considered an aspect of the basis of differentiating the two groups and not a probable independent aspect of relevant attitudes. It appears likely that an evaluation, acceptance, or rejection of riot as a whole would include inevitably a consistent positively related attitude toward the participants of the riot. In fact, the answer to this question may well be considered a check on the reality of the responses found in Table 2. On the reliability. In fact, let me read that again. In fact, the answer to this question may well be considered a check on the reliability of the responses found in Table 2. The marked disparity in the responses presented in Table 10 should therefore be expected. Ooh. And let me just read some of these reasons that's given. I'm not going to read the accepted and rejected, just the reasons. Bad treatment of soldiers, high prices, discriminatory, generalized racial tensions and resentment of injustice because of poverty of people, no reason, just baseless rumors, because of Detroit riot, God, and anti-Semitism. And those right there were the reasons given, why do you think it happened? And then the other ones is got violence and looting for your own sake, specific incident, policeman and soldier, planned by out-of-towners, mayor's leniency, shortage of transportation, and have not the least idea. It can be seen from these results that practically all of the acceptors had a tendency to describe the participants in positive, evaluative terms. They felt for the most part that the riot participants were not unusual, average Americans. They were all right, expressed approval and sometimes enthusiastic approbation. or not hoodlums, in manifest contradiction to the general newspaper characterization of the rioters. The majority, 45%, of the rejectors, on the other hand, condemn the riot participants as hoodlums, vandals, degraded, looters, and criminals, or as spiteful, stupid, or fools. It seems of significance to point out that only 12.5% of the rejectors did not characterize the writers in these negatively evaluative terms. Prosperity. Anticipated consequences of riot. The results in Table 11 indicate that a majority of the acceptors anticipate some good to result from the outbreak, while a majority of the rejectors expect some bad. These results are in agreement with the expected. Verbalized participation, not participation. Oh, maybe they misspelled it. But see, it's got participation. Maybe they meant participation. Right there. See? Right there with my finger in. You can see it. That's what it say. Maybe they misspelled it. Verbalized participation. That would be a whole new word. In group violence. It can be seen from Table 12 that 60% of the acceptors state that they would not have participated in the riots if they had been around when it started. 15% of them didn't think that they would participate, while 25% of them stated that they would. The reasons given for each category of answer may be seen by observing Table 12. 95% of the rejectors, on the other hand, would not have participated, while a surprising 5% of those rejectors claimed that they would have participated for reasons of personal gain. Again, in an analysis of the differential responses to the question, a consistent difference between acceptors and rejectors manifests itself. The rejectors clothe their reasons and attitudes in a more moralistic and strongly negative evaluative terms. Anticipation of riot. As may be seen in Table 13, the responses to this question offer a slight basis for discriminating between acceptors and rejectors. There is a tendency for a higher percentage of acceptors to have expected a riot, while there's a tendency for a higher percentage of rejectors not to have expected one. This may indicate a higher level of racial sensitivity among the acceptors. Treatment of Negro soldiers. I think this is the last one. Let me flip this page right here. Yeah, see? That's what we're going to end at. That's what we're going to end at right there. Treatment of Negro soldiers. In responses, A and B in Table 14 are combined. If responses A and B in Table 14 are combined, it will be seen that there is no difference whatsoever in the two groups as far as response to this question is concerned. An equal percentage of each group feels that Negro soldiers as a whole are unjustly treated in the Army, or that some are unjustly treated. The responses to this question, an indication of subjective knowledge or attitude about the treatment of Negroes in the Army, in no way discriminate between acceptors or rejectors of group racial violence. Summary and conclusion. In a preliminary attempt to determine whether there existed certain background factors or relevant attitudinal dynamics, which would make it possible to discriminate between individuals who will participate or condone group violence from those who would condemn such violence, 67 Negro residents in the Harlem area were interviewed by Negro interviewers within a month after the August 1943 Harlem riots. The following results were obtained. Just bear with me. Number one, while 60% of the respondents rejected or condemned the riots, 30% accepted or condoned the riots. Number two, of those who condoned the riots, a higher percentage was male. Of those who condemned the riots, a higher percentage was female. Number three, the condoners, the acceptors, tended to be concentrated among the older respondents, while among the condemners, the rejectors, there was a somewhat higher percentage of younger respondents. Number 4, there's a tendency for a higher percentage of the condoners, the acceptors, to have a stated higher educational level, while a higher percentage of the condemners, the rejectors, have a stated lower educational level. Yeah, we got time. We almost done. Yeah, I'm reading fast. I know, I'm ready to. Yes. And then we got some more studying tomorrow. Yeah, more dirty little secrets. Number 5, there is a tendency for the rejectors, condemners, to be more regular churchgoers than the acceptors, although the difference between the two groups is quite small when extremely frequent church attendance is compared. And that's every Sunday. Number 6, negligible differences exist between these two groups as to place of birth of respondents, except that there is a high percentage of northern-born non-New Yorkers found among the condoner group and a slightly higher percentage of the native New Yorkers found among the condemner group. They showed this, they study on Black folks. I'm telling you. Number 7, newspaper stated as read, show no differences between these two groups with the following exceptions. Comparatively, there is a higher percentage of the PM readers among the condoner group, while there is a comparative and absolute greater number of Journal American, that's the Hearst newspaper readers, among the condemner group. This latter is the most marked difference found in this section of the analysis. Number 8, there's a tendency for the condemners, the rejectors, to be more habitual readers of Negro newspapers. Number 9, there's a tendency for the higher percentage of the acceptors, the condoners, to have close relatives in the Army, while there's a tendency for a higher percentage of the rejectors to have no relatives in the Army. Number 10, the rejectors give a somewhat different pattern of reasons in attempting to account for the riot and tend to characterize the participants generally more negatively and with more moralistic evaluative statements than do the acceptors. Number 11, a higher percentage of rejectors believe that the immediate consequences of the riots would be detrimental, in contrast to a higher percentage of acceptors who believe these consequences will be good. Number 12, a strikingly higher percentage of rejectors stated that they would have participated in group violence under no circumstances. 25% of them characterized it as dumb, stupid, and senseless, while some of the acceptors so described it. 25% of the acceptors stated that they would have or did participate in the riot, while 5% of the rejectors so stated. Number 13, there was a slight tendency for the acceptors to be generally more sensitive in terms of having expected a riot. Number 14, in the following dimensions of general attitudinal pattern, there appears to be no significant basis in the obtained results for discriminating between these two groups. A, subjective knowledge or attitude concerning the treatment of Negro soldiers in the Army. B, general attitude toward the Army. C, optimism or pessimism in reference to the post-war status of the Negro. D, general projected moral level as indicated by response to the question, are Negroes in general all out for this war? Upon the basis of the results of this preliminary investigation, it seems advisable to make the following negative conclusion, awaiting verification from a more extensive and controlled study. What? Upon the basis of the results of this preliminary investigation, it seems advisable to make the following negative conclusion, awaiting verification from a more extensive and controlled study. So do a more extensive, lengthy control study so you can make this negative conclusion more verified. So you can verify this negative conclusion you're going to come up with. Is that what it's saying? But I digress. Let's read. That aside from the suggestive trend differences in some of the more complex aside from the more, I know. Yeah, maybe I'm reading it wrong. Reading is fundamental. That aside from the suggestive trend differences in some of the more concrete background factors presented above, the rejectors and acceptors of group racial violence can best be discriminated in terms of the fact that the negations of group violence by the rejectors are couched in moralistic, ethical, and evaluative terms indicating a strong sense of a superego, which appears to be the determinant of their attitude toward group violence in general, and strong enough to outweigh any other relevant and specific aspects of general attitude pattern which might exist. The acceptors, on the other hand, show no such general social ethical concern, but rather appear to be strongly and emotionally oriented to the more specific and relevant determinants of the nature of the group violence themselves, wherein the rejectors are emotional in their concern about the observance of general social ethics. The acceptors are emotional about their concern about what they consider specific social or racial injustice. These two groups cannot be differentiated in terms of their responses, which indicate the pattern of their relevant general racial attitude. From these data, each group appears to have the same general level of morals as indicated by their attitude toward the treatment of Negro soldiers in the Army, attitude of the Army in general, optimism or pessimism concerning the post-war future of the Negro, and general attitude of Negroes toward the war. This fact may suggest that the acceptance or rejection of group violence by any individual is not determined by the nature of his relevant general attitude as much as it is determined by his general perspective or frame of reference within which this general attitude pattern gets its meaning. If this frame of reference is a broad social, ethical, or superego determined one, it is likely to lead to a categorical rejection of group violence, even if this appears consistent to the more relevant general attitude. If this frame of reference is a more restrictive one, primarily concerned with a specific subjective social injustice, it is likely to lead to the acceptance of group violence as a means to the end of rectifying the specific injustice. In this instance, it appears that there is no subjective awareness of an incompatibility of violence with broad or narrow social ethics, but rather this violence appears to be conceived by its acceptors as an instrument for its establishment of a specific, socially desirable, and ethical end. We did it. We finished that right there. It ain't the chapter, though. We didn't finish that chapter because we just started that part 3. But tomorrow we will. We will because, we got to tell our own stories. The wordplay. And then, I don't know all this lingo and stuff, but it sure seemed to me, like the condemning, the chastising is not on the root of the problems. After all the violence, the savagery, the ravishness of the white massacres, and once everyone agreed, like with the state of Kentucky, when all the states agreed, we won't do them things no more. But what are you, governor of this state, mayor of this state, whoever the top dog is, gonna do? So we ain't got to do these things no more. So Kentucky, you don't want us to do these things no more? What, Red Summer? You don't want us to do these things no more? What you gonna do for us? What you gonna do for us? That seemed like what everybody was asking their state. If we stop doing these things to black people, what are y'all gonna do for us? So they put in place all of these sabotages, this poverty, the pissy food, the shacks, the no education, the no medical treatment, no medical resources. That's what they decided to do, to keep white America off of us. That's why white America stopped with the slaughtering and the massacring and the skinning, they didn't stop doing it because they just woke up and they were moral people. They didn't stop doing these things to our ancestors because they woke up and had a rude awakening. That's a lie. They asked stop doing this to us publicly because each and every state that approached them and gave them that opportunity, stop slaughtering them publicly. We'll do it this way. So they set up the education, the housing, the medical, judicial, all across the board. They set all that shit up all across the board so that it'll appease white America, and white America would, would allow them to fool people that perhaps want to move there with their families, Yeah, I'm done. We're gonna get us some rest. I'm going to I'm gonna go time travel tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm so appalled at these people and stuff. Where's the sincerity, the trust for Black America? I ain't seen none yet. I know it's just, we ain't read but 3 books, but damn, can we get some sincerity? Is anybody gonna start out with some sincerity? What, we supposed to be like, after the end and round 3, that's when we supposed to be so appreciative when people realize, we can't do this without Black America. Now we're going to have to show some sincerity to them. Is it even worth it now? Is it even worth it? We got some decisions to make, y'all. We got some decisions to make. We ain't got no friends out here. All I can tell you, is Black people and stuff. Get our kids. Get our kids. We got to save our babies. We got to save our future. We got to save our lineage. Are you tired of reading all that negative stuff, sis? No, I'm not really tired of reading it and stuff, but I don't really understand what I'm reading and stuff. And it seemed to me like, in the telling of all this and stuff, it's always excuses and condonements. Where's the chastising for this right here? Ain't nobody even told white America they crazy as hell. Y'all asses have been psycho. I know I'm here to find a healing for Black America. But hell, if y'all asses want to stay around white folks' asses and stuff, y'all gotta want to know too. Where the hell is they damn healing at too now? Now we cannot let our babies go into this new future, this new world, without knowing about this and without us at least knowing hell. At least we know they ass done got some damn help for themselves. One way or the other. But no, we don't get tired. Are you tired of reading all that negative stuff? We can't even look at it like it's negative stuff. It's history. It's history. It's the good, the bad, the ugly, the savage, and the ravishness. Hell, ain't you been reading it to your family, your friends, your people? You haven't been reading it either? Oh, you just found it too, huh? Well, I just found it. I just found these books right here because if I'd have had it, honey, I'd have been reading. Yeah, I don't shy away from reading about my ancestors. I love reading slave narratives. I can't wait till we get to them. Reading some of the slave narratives. I used to read them all the time and stuff at one time, but I didn't know why I was reading them stuff. I just found them, I resonated with them, what they were going through, how they were talking to us, wanting to let us know. I call them love letters too. The slave narratives. I think I started looking at them because I was looking for my surname. My mama last name, my daddy last name, my great grandmama last name, So yeah, we did good tonight. We did good tonight, and we're gonna get on up out of here and let's go time travel, and yeah, process all this information right here. Let's just process all of this right here because we just using this right here so that we can find healing. What's wrong with us? Why we can't come together? Why we can't build together? Why we can't be around each other? Why we always got to be like 2 betas in a 10-gallon tank? I don't hate you. I'm not going to let you hate me either. Now I'm going to tell you who did this to us. Shit, we going to hate they motherfucking asses. Just get away from us. That's all you got to do. We don't trust you no more. You haven't taken accountability. You haven't even confronted your own people. So now, Sabrina, y'all gonna have to stay over there now. You know, that's it. Yeah, you know, I know hate is a strong word, but shit here, you know, we ain't our enemies. No, we're not our enemies. If we do got an enemy, here it is, right here. I know, go on and say all face, they wasn't even there, they wasn't even born. I wasn't born then either. But you see how it's affecting me? How it should be affecting your ass too. These are your ancestors too. So don't sit there and act like cause your ass done been a coward. And you ain't confronted nobody and nothing. And your ass got all them kids and babies. And your businesses. And your houses, your many mansions. And now you look at this, now how am I going to backtrack? And I done built all of this stuff. All of what? All of that material bullshit that you can't even take with you. That shit is not giving you personal freedom. You still can't speak on this. So yeah, your ass got some work to do on you. I'm just saying, I digress. Yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow.